Hi, this is Hendrik Perry, about to be joined by Oren, Cody, Richard, and James in the world of Thedas, an RPG setting belonging to BioWare's Dragon Age, soon to be joined by its newest entry, Dragon Age the Veilguard, coming out October 31st. This is a special little one-shot I made in celebration of that. It's been 10 long years, and I can't wait to get back into it. So, without further ado, this is Dragon Age The Roads Below.
I hope you're as excited about the Dragon Age one-shot as I was excited playing it. It's going to be awesome, and I have two small announcements to make before I send you to watch the rest of this video. The first announcement is that Geek Peek is an ambassador for the BioWare store, which means that I have a link in the description of this video where you can get 20% off of buying something on the BioWare store, and by doing so you get a discount, but you also support the channel. So if you're interested in buying merch or some plushies or whatever it is that is Dragon Age related or even Mass Effect, you can do that with the link below and get 20% off. And there's a limit on that. There's a date where this link will no longer be available, so check the description below to see the final date. The second announcement is a little bit more serious, but we're very happy with it. We're excited to announce that we've joined the Creator Accountability Network. CAN is a nonprofit dedicated to reducing harassment and abuse through ethical education and a system of restorative accountability. We joined because we care about the safety and well-being of our community members. If you feel our behavior or content has harmed someone, please report it to CAN either via the reporting form on their website, creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org, or via their hotline at 617-249-4255. They'll help us make it right and avoid repeating that mistake in the future. CAN also needs volunteers from our communities to help with their process, so if you have skills you think would be helpful or time and a desire to help, please visit their website to find out how you can volunteer. Most importantly, get the word out to other creators who you think would be interested in getting credentialed. Help us build safer communities together. So if you want to learn more about CAN, you can find more information in the description below. And now, without further ado, enjoy the Dragon Age one-shot.
Welcome to the Dragon Age One Shot. Please don't challenge me on any lore bits I get wrong. I'm probably going to get something wrong. This is Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, kind of reflavored into more of a D&D thing. I didn't put a lot of work into that, but just know that only one person is a mage, and I did give them some challenges based on being a mage in the Dragon Age universe. Moving on from that, you four have received letters, each representing different organizations all across Thedas. Some of you are Lords of Fortune. There's a Shadow Dragon from Tevinter, Grey Warden from the Anderfels. All legends in your own right, orders stretching back centuries, some fairly new, but making a name very quickly. But recently, you've received a message from Sir Sutherland, a famous adventurer turned knight from the peak of the Inquisition, has been seeking aid from other organizations that stretch beyond the reach of the Inquisition and the Chantry of Orlais. That means going to different countries, of which many of you represent. This mission has led into all of these organizations. After going over what has been uncovered by the Inquisition, the threats of the Venatori, the Canari, and even the rise of the Dreadwolf's followers all across Thedas, connections have begun to form between them, and one of those connections is the Crossroads. It's a very kind of an in-between place between the Fade and the material world. With it, people have been using these specialized mirrors called the Illuvion, which allows you to just travel into them and come out anywhere else all throughout Thedas where a mirror can be formed, shortening travel of troops down to mere minutes, honestly, if you can find the right path. One such Illuvion has been spotted in between south of Tanterville and north of the Vinmark Mountains, also east of Starkhaven, of which each of you took off. And from what you've been able to glean is that a new pathway into the deep roads has been uncovered, and some would-be treasure hunters kind of got foolhardy, thought they could charge in there. It's been at least 20 years since a blight, and that means deep roads are going to be flooded with darkspawn. They very quickly realized this, but not before making out with a description of a very interesting artifact that sounds just like an Illuvion. And so you lot have been put together to go and find this. Now, in Dragon Age tradition, every game starts with a Canticle of Light at the beginning. I found one that I think fits, and so I'll read it and start the scene. No matter their power and their triumphs, the mage lords of Tevinter were men and doomed to die. Then a voice whispered within their hearts, "Shall you surrender your power to times like the Shall you surrender your power to time like the beasts of the fields? You are the lords of the earth. Go forth to claim the empty throne of heaven and be gods." In secret, they worked, magic upon magic, all their power and all their vanity. They turned against the veil until at last it gave way.
Right?
So, traveling a few days since Starkhaven, making your way toward this supposed new entrance into the deep roads, you come across just a few darkspawn, and with a few darkspawn comes the senses of a Grey Warden, legend spanning centuries, almost a millennia. When you find these darkspawn, and it's very easily just a couple gen locks, nothing, honestly, routine for you. Describe yourself, and how would you take them down very quickly?
So Vokt is a Kunari. I am shorter than most standard Kunari. Not quite like run to the litter size. But I am fairly new in my Grey Warden-ness, but I play it off as like the honor of the role kind of precedes my actual personality. I tend to be more instantaneous in my I react more than just act, as I'm still like learning the roles of the Grey Warden. But I have very plain armor on, which is kind of, anybody that would know about the Grey Warden is kind of like indicative about like I should have better stuff. Is like chainmail. There's the Grey Warden symbol, and I do have a couple of fairly large swords around me at all time. As far as taking out like a small group of Genlock, I think would we be able to see them from like a pretty good distance?
So, as part of being Grey Warden, you not only see them, you can sense them before you see them. And
Okay.
as you get closer, the sense gets better. That's part of what makes Grey Warden so effective against Darkspawn, is that they cannot be snuck up upon by Darkspawn.
Okay. I would, as soon as I start sensing it, I would alert the rest of my party, and then try to like educate them a little bit on if they haven't encountered Darkspawn, which presumably they haven't, since that's not their job and there's no blight happening. I would like slow the party down and be like, shh, listen. You cannot sense this like I can, but there are Darkspawn around. They can be very, very vicious creatures in large numbers, but there are only a few of them. So, watch and learn. And I think I would try to like scout around them to keep them like kind of pinch them between the rest of my party in case things do go bad, and just come across them from like the far side and try and just like take them out one at a time real quick.
As you watch your Grey Warden ally split from the party just for a brief moment to basically circle around and close in on this, Torin, you're no stranger to Darkspawn in general. Is there anything you would like to quickly try to slide in here, or would you like to just watch the Grey Warden at work?
I like to think that Torin probably tried to find a higher vantage point, if possible, to get a better look as soon as he was alerted to them being around the corner.
Okay. So, describe yourself as you take this high vantage point to...
Torin is a average-sized man, has a like a reddish black cloak on his back that's lined with fur, has some studded armor on his front, and he tends to keep his cowl up as he just tries to move his way up. He's learned that it's better to fade into the background most of the time in this world, as it seems like if you're in the front, you tend to die. So he tries to stay more in the background as much as he possibly can. So he's going to try to climb up and get a vantage point and possibly take one out with his crossbow.
True, Darkspawn can't reach you if you're far away. So, readying your crossbow to take one out, you wait for the Grey Warden to run up and quickly smash down one genlock. Caught unawares, the genlock wouldn't stand a chance against someone taller. Genlocks being more of a dwarf-like Darkspawn species, a corrupted dwarf. Hair mostly fallen out. Flesh very sunken in, and eyes basically pale. Carrying very beat up axes, but honestly, the way that they are beaten up, it would tear into the flesh rather than slice into the flesh cleanly. But nonetheless, fearsome creatures in great numbers, but with just two. Quick slice from Vogt and a quick follow-up shot from Torin out on the ledge. Quickly takes out the two. And you know that this, after traveling for days without much, maybe experiencing an animal or a creature here and there, that by the very appearance of Darkspawn, you must be close to an opening into the deep roads. They do not leave the deep roads unless a blight is occurring. Or if something pushed them out. Perhaps. You have to quickly dispatching the two. The group gathers up. Kaylin, what do you think of that little scenario? This might be your first time experiencing Darkspawn in general, so...
Yeah, so my first time experiencing Darkspawn, I've heard the stories. I'm not particularly, as a mage, I'm not the most tough of the group, you'd say. I'm not particularly interested in getting my ass handed to me. So I'm going to go up and sneak away with Torin, readying some minor spells to provide range support while the tougher of the group deal with close range.
All right.
It's nice to see one of you who's got some brains on you. Come with me.
Yes, I have no intent to stay around here.
Kaylin, what do you look like?
I'm an elven mage, formerly Circle Mage, now a Lord of Fortune alongside Torin. I wield a large staff that's curved at the top, almost like a fish hook. And every now I've got a little book, a large tome I keep stored in my cloak, flowing dark cloak behind me.
Alrighty. And Jean Valroyo, this may also be your first ever interaction with the Darkspawn, beastly creatures as they may. Would you describe yourself, and how would you react to this situation of your first meeting?
So Jean Valroyo is dressed as an Orlesian nobleman, but as his clothes are kind of like a little bit faded, a little bit older, like he kind of lives in the glory of being a noble in Valroyo, but he's not there, and he's kind of keeping it. And of course, when he sees the Darkspawn, the first reaction is "Sacre bleu!" And he would go and join the Grey Warden, because he knows that the Grey Warden is the best at destroying Darkspawn.
All right. And with that preparation, a quick reward. As the Grey Warden bot, you immediately sense that even though you just took down the two Darkspawn in the immediate vicinity, you realize that wasn't it. And the sense of there being more Darkspawn around hasn't gone away, as two more shrieks come sprinting out of the forest after you. With that preparation of James and Jean Valroyo, you can easily, Jean Valroyo standing next to the Grey Warden, you can easily react. Kaylin, and what cantrips have you prepared to fire upon these that you see sprinting out from your high vantage point?
Good old set of firebolts, like burning streaks of crimson fire flying through the air, impacting Darkspawn straight in the chest.
Jean Ramiril, you see one get struck down by fire from above. How would you also turn to take down the other?
Is this a reaction or an action?
Oh, it's an action.
So I think I'll just stab one with my dagger.
Okay. As soon as one tries to get within reach, you outreact it and manage to sneak in your own rather fancy dagger of yours into their gullet and take it down very quickly. But first blood on your hands. All right.
This is disgusting. What is this black blood?
You'd be a lot cleaner if you stayed farther away. It's cooling from the hill over there.
13 miles away. The further you are, the cleaner you are.
Paint can't get you if you're over there. Alrighty. Well, with those quick takedowns, Vox, you understand that you are getting closer to a source, but there's nothing in your immediate vicinity. Would you all like to proceed quietly or quickly?
I think at this point, if I'm not currently detecting more presence of Darkspawn, I would clap like Jean on the back. Like, well done, my friend, well done. Seize your first blood. Congratulations. The first kill, always the kill you remember. And I would
Thank you.
wave the other two over and explain that to them. Like, there's no more Darkspawn in this immediate area, but we're getting close. So I think I would advise caution as we are getting closer to this source of Darkspawn. I think we're getting close to the goal we've set out to obtain, so caution is advised.
Right. Well, so long as you stay closer to them than me, I think we're all good.
I'll just use you like a compass and point you in the direction, and I'll be right behind you. Don't worry, mate.
Yeah.
Very well.
All right. With that, Torin and Vot, give me survival checks. Let's see if you can kind of reverse their path that these
First
Darkspawn are taking.
roll.
Let's see how the theme of this campaign's gonna go.
Survival check, right?
Yep.
Please don't roll net once.
16.
This is
15.
if there's anything with like a favorite enemy or terrain that would affect us. I'm not sure what all of that does, but we're trying to trace back. So we had a 15 from Torin and Vot.
16.
16. Team or 16. Okay. So with those rolls, very quickly you can see their path of destruction across the forest. There wasn't any like sneakiness or on. They pretty much just chopped down trees, cut down woods. It's very simple to just trace backwards where they came from. It didn't seem like they were actually going anywhere with any rhyme or reason. So sometimes they went one direction, stopped, another direction, stopped, and went back. And hard to predict what the Darkspawn's doing without a leader. But tracing back this pathway through this forest, you very quickly come upon what is actually a massive sinkhole that is obviously goes straight down, and from you can't quite see anything, and your eyes can't really adjust to the lack of light down in this hole from the light coming from behind you. But nonetheless, Vot, you can tell that nothing directly in the hole, but within this there be death. The Darkspawn aplenty in nearly every direction.
There's like an ill sense of foreboding coming from the sinkhole. Okay.
Yeah, that.
Gotcha.
All right, mate, you first.
Yeah.
Vat, you look a little bit worried. Why are you worried?
There seems to be quite more of a concentration of Darkspawn here than I guess I was originally anticipating. But should be no problem. There are 4 of us, and we are all very, very capable at what we do. So let's set up some sort of rigging and make our way down, sire.
We got to go in the hole, is what you're saying.
Yes, we have to go into the hole.
And you're going to see him just kind of look at you like you're crazy, but all right. You're the expert here. I'm just learning.
Mate, we'll throw him in first, yeah? And then we'll see how long it takes him to hit the bottom, right?
was say I've got and he's gonna hold up some strange riggings and explosives. It's like, I got some of these, so if we gotta drop them in first, just let me know.
I think we can go down first, and we'll keep the explosives if we need to make a quick exit. Explode further in, run out.
I like it.
What?
I guess start setting up some sort of like repelling rigging system, tie a couple ropes together. You said we can't see the bottom.
Not quite. Your eyes just aren't adjusting very well. Give me perception checks, I guess. But it
All
would
of
be
us?
disadvantage unless you go in
All
the
of
hole
us?
first. Yeah. Unless you go in the hole first, it's a disadvantage perception.
So I'm saying we just throw him in. It'll be so much easier.
I'll take a look at before we go in, even at disadvantage. Nope. That is a
I rolled a nat 1, and
Aw.
my perception is +2, so 3.
He's so preoccupied with the Darkspawn blood.
You know, it's been raining a couple days, and perhaps through sheer bad luck, water
That's-
just drips down from leaf to leaf to leaf, gaining more and more, and splashes on the back of your head. And that just distracts you for a moment.
I
That's
got
gonna
a
be
21.
23 for
21?
me.
21 and a 23 on
I think also,
disadvantage.
as
Oh,
that
disadvantage.
water
I'm sorry,
lands
my bad.
on, as that
Also,
really at disadvantage.
Fully, while you are
19.
all doing your perception checks, after being hit with the splash of water, you will see Jean take a napkin from one of his pockets and start to kind of like dry himself and his sword from the blood, fully ignoring all of you and being absorbed in his own aesthetic.
I forgot the disadvantage. That's actually about 6, I believe.
Okay, 6, and you said 19 then?
I got 19 still, so.
Alrighty. Sweet.
I think I'm just kind of overwhelmed with the sense of Darkspawn coming from this pit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been around that much of a concentration yet.
Yeah, like
because
as
I
a
also
newer
got a
warden-
6.
Yeah, you did mention you were kind of newer to the wardens, and so
Yeah.
this amount.
We're off to
is-
an amazing start.
Yeah.
I think.
While
also,
you've definitely faced one or two in your time, this amount, the deep roads hasn't something you'd ventured into, and this amount of dark spot is.
I think
a whole
also
different-
as we're looking in this hole, I turn back, see our lovely bard struggling with cleaning off his sword, and just go, mate, slam my staff into the ground and cast prestidigitation.
Thank you.
You
Thank
only
you
need to
so
ask,
much.
mate. It's not that hard.
As Kalen is casting prestidigitation on me, I realized that I can also cast it on my sword. And I don't know how you want to do this, Hendrik, but I will try to reach out and cast prestidigitation on my sword.
Do you want to keep this hidden from people, or are you just casually doing this in front of people? Because this is something that you know isn't normal for normal people.
Yes.
So, is this something you're just hiding, or is this something you're going to casually?
So
just
I
do?
don't think he is actually thinking about hiding it. It's more of like the anxiety of tapping into this power.
Okay. With you doing that, I'm gonna let's see. Actually, we have a 6, and a natural 1 perception. So, Kaylin, for a brief moment, you feel like a kind of a tertiary power. It's not demonic, but it is something clearly fade related. Clearly magic related, clearly something straight from the fate. But it was such a small spark that you can almost write it off as something Darkspawn. Maybe Darkspawn are doing weird things. They're weird creatures and they do all sorts of screwed up things. So
Yeah, I
you
look down at
can't-
this
it-
like doubly
Yeah.
prestidigitated sword, and I'm like, huh, better than I thought.
Yeah, there is definitely a spark of something, but can't quite pin it down. But you wouldn't have picked it up on that because you're distracted with the phone. But with the 19 perception, Torin, you know that when the mage casted prestidigitation, it definitely did exactly what it was supposed to do. It cleaned up Jean real quick. But you noticed like just a secondary spark come out of Jean himself, and it like covered the dagger and cleaned it off. This was like whatever Jane or Kaylin did. It was very quick and didn't seem like he was doing anything afterwards. The second spark clearly came a step later. So, and from John, but you're not sure what that was, and definitely something of note.
He would have observed it, but his focus right now is danger. And he's like, if that's something that needs to be addressed in the future, I'll get to it. But right now, we got Darkspawn, so he's trying to listen in, trying to use all his senses to kind of just figure out where they're coming from.
Yeah. So with this danger, quickly transferring your focus back to the mission at hand. Studying the hole deep into the hole. It is kind of very dark, but around the hole, you notice some signs of a battle that may have taken place. You can very quickly see the explosion of fire that has since died down and practically disappeared through the heavy rainfall that I mentioned. But nonetheless, the residue of ash and soot from a fireball explosion happened. You can see actually some darkspawn corpses that are around in the bushes. They've been kind of covered up by the tall grass in the area, but you quickly pick up on and are studying them. You want to do a medicine or survival check to try and glean further what happened here, or investigation. Investigation will give you more too.
I can do investigation. I have
survival that.
Okay.
I have a passive investigation of 15, if that helps.
And I'll smack. Is it Vox or Vought?
Voct.
Voct. I'll smack Voct in the chest and I'll point out the details and be like, Did you sense these as well, or do you think these are older corpses?
Shit.
Those must be older corpses. I did not sense those. Good eye though.
Got an 11 survival.
11 survival. I heard a die roll.
I got 12 for investigation.
12 on investigation. Kaylin, if you want to try and give me an Arcana check, you can go for that.
Give it a go.
Or you can do survival or investigation. One of the prior mentions.
Let's go.
Nat 20.
I'm just that good,
Beautiful.
Okay. So with the 12 and 11, with the 11, you kind of know clearly a battle took place here, but you can't quite make out full details aside from fiery explosion and what I mentioned earlier. On a 12 investigation, you kind of like, you can look into some corpses and it's like the best you have is like some clearly died in that fiery explosion that got pointed out, but others have blade wounds on them. But with a nat 20, you know that magic was casted. Clearly the fireball wasn't a grenade or anything. This was a magic from the Fade, and the way the spell was crafted. Yeah, the way the spell is crafted is very clearly like this is a well-trained. It didn't burn the surrounding shrubbery. It very specifically targeted the Darkspawn themselves. You know, a very skilled mage was likely here, and the magic is too perfect for like what these kind of savage creatures could possibly produce. Like they wouldn't care about protecting the surroundings, but whoever did cast it didn't want to start a forest fire, didn't want to make a swing. This was specific and focused. So you know there's another human or elf or any of the other races, another sentient mage basically in the area who very quickly was passing through here, and you quickly pick up on that, and a powerful one at that, probably stronger than you.
Shots fired. Oh my god.
Excuse me.
I'm just saying.
Disembodied voice.
James, do you relay this information to us?
Yes, I think as I'm investigating this Scorch Mark of this fireball, I come back. Right, guys, that ain't no natural fireball right there. That ain't no Darkspawn. That's a mage like me. I know it well. That's suffice to say.
But would
So
you
with
say
all
that
this-
where
he's as good as you, or is
Bit kind of messy work, you know. I've seen better, you know. I've cast better, you know.
Roll deception.
I see you clean blades very well, but are you able to do something like this?
That's 8 deception.
Okay. I'm pretty sure.
Can I give
y'all
him the help action?
You know, Yeah, like go for it.
Come on, come on, come on.
How do you wait?
I-
How do you cover for it?
I think you cleaned my blade very well. I think it was very good.
Thanks, mate. That's a 16.
So I rolled. Wait, do I just roll the dice?
No.
Remind me.
Me, I
For
get
help,
points,
you
right?
give
Yeah.
Kaylin advantage.
So I got 16
So
on
no
the second
dice
one.
roll from you. 16.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna ask for insight rolls with the 6 just to keep it brief, but with a 16, there is a hint that like Kaylin admires the almost the artistry of the fire, but you don't know if he's stronger or not. But it's like a contemporary admiring a contemporary. It's good work. Clearly, the fireball is skilled. And not a highly skilled one, but Kaylin's little deception here is
Yeah. It's
hiding
it ain't bad
the
work,
black-
you know. I wouldn't do it personally out of taste, not skill, out of taste. But you know, it ain't bad. It ain't bad.
You watch Jean come and like put a hand on your shoulder and say, "Calm down."
Huh? Fair
Okay.
play.
Yeah.
Because Jean feels like that you are going to ruin it.
All right.
You're overselling. Settle down. So
Okay.
with this information gleaned from everybody else, like investigating the things around, is there anything that I might have heard prior to starting this mission of any sort of like conflicts that have happened in this area, or is like am I aware of like a different like scouting party that might already be in the pit ahead of us?
So you all would not have heard anything of another scouting party if they did make their way here. This is very in the middle of nowhere, and it took you several days from the nearest big city to get here, and even smaller villages, it would still take a couple days travel.
Okay.
But you would know that the people who first discovered this and tried to be would-be tomb robbers, it didn't work out for them very quickly, and they kind of went back home with their butts beaten in and just drank away their sorrows and weren't very quiet with the information. And an alluvion is something that multiple parties would be interested in, not just yours and the Inquisition. It's like the Crossroads is a very powerful place to control, so anyone with more control of the place would basically may reign supreme across the continent.
Okay. And that original... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That original party, they were just like standard regular people. They weren't like...
They were just
Okay.
they were villagers that got foolhardy.
So this definitely wasn't them, but there's somebody else, obviously. Okay.
Yeah. Bring down the second party spirit.
So as we're still here, like kind of like talking, Jean will take a few steps away from the party just as he's kind of looking around the field. And being away from the party, I want to activate detect thoughts. Now that I know there's another person among us that I might sense his thoughts.
Okay, go with a stealth check real quick.
Oh no.
You want to step away and cast magic.
So I rolled a 7 on the die, and I have +3, so it's 10.
10. Okay. I'm pretty sure there was like a 6 and a 6, and then the 19. So, Torin, you're the only one who notices, and you see that spark yet again come from John, and but nonetheless, however you want to bring that up. This time, for sure, there's something going on with Jean, but what that is
I like to think that right now Vogt and I are kind of surveying the hole, kind of figuring out how we're setting up the rigging to go down, and I quietly to him, right?
Yes.
I'll quietly to him as I notice Jean slinking away a little bit. I'm like, be careful of that one. He hides much. Just be aware.
I don't think I would say anything in response, but I would give Torin a look to like it, so that they know that I acknowledged it, and just keep doing the rigging that we're setting up.
Okay.
Because this rigging's got to be really well made, or we all fall in and can't get out.
Yep.
So that's the focus.
All right. And all right. So with the
promise I'm not out to kill you.
That's what a murderer would say.
Where did
I'm
this
not
voice come
against
from?
you.
Okay. Now, with detect thoughts, does that spell need a specific target in mind, or can it just be a detection circle
I think
around your
it's-
edge?
I think it's concentration.
I think it's people
No,
generally around you, but then you can focus in on one
Yeah.
specific person and they have to make a save.
Okay, so.
So
general-
I think they only have to make a save if I try to dig
Yeah.
deeper.
You're
Yeah.
going deeper.
Right. Surface thoughts are free.
Yes. I was just specifically wondering, like, is it something you have to target someone specifically, or is it something you can just have in a radius around you? Everyone that walks in, you get a thought from.
The wording does say that you can see, but that's just rules as written. Obviously, you can interpret that however you would like, but
Yeah.
that's what the wording says. You can see them.
Yeah, it says
Oh, sure.
you can focus your mind on any one creature, so it's up to you at that point. That's just rules as written.
Okay. So, with the quick lean, Jean, you know that your cover is blown, and Torin on the surface picked up on your little spark of magic for the second time.
Yeah.
Vought, and also that Torin passed the message along to Vought. Kaylin, let's see, you didn't pick up on any of this because of that.
I got
low
no clue what's
perception
going on,
rating,
man. I'm over in the corner poking at some darkspawn bodies.
but there.
Hmm.
Kaylin is just
Still-
general
still
musings
fresh,
on the
curious.
Darkspawn corpse. And
Yeah.
maybe a little brief thought in the back of like, man, that magic was really good though.
Yeah.
But
How is it so contained?
So realizing both Vox and Torin know, I will send them both a message and say,
Oh.
I know you sensed magic from me. It's not the focus of this mission right now, but let's talk about it later.
okay. Yeah, from the back of your mind's a whisper from almost like a land of dreams. Well, actually, Canary don't dream. Canary, but almost for Torin, it's like from like anywhere your dreams come from in the back of your head, a message comes in John's voice, just saying that message. And for Vox, honestly, this kind of, you're not supposed to hear voices in your head. That's some really weird. Like that's an experience you've never really had. But
I was just going to ask, is that something that would have come up as a Grey Warden, like any sort of telepathic messaging or anything like that?
Grey Wardens don't hold back on using anything to fight, so you would have met some mages, and maybe some things may have come along your way. So
Okay.
it's still weird. It's
Yeah.
It's that crawl across your back that you don't want, but
I think
Shiver
involuntarily
down
I just kind of go, ugh. No, thank you. Ask consent next time. Jeez.
And I when I see you shiver like that, I look up and I'm like, it's just some more fucking politics. We'll be fine.
I'm just
All
here
right.
to destroy Darkspawn. I have no need for politics.
All right. Well, with that quick rigging setup, and a couple of minutes later, you're quickly down the hole. It's not a far drop. It was only about 8 feet. But as soon as you get down there, you can kind of start them. Your eyes can start to adjust to the shadows.
So
And
you're saying we could have tossed
You-
him in?
I'm saying it would have been 1d6 of damage. But
It's not much. You would have been fine, mate, okay?
I'm not sure he's the first one that should get thrown in at this rate.
Hey, okay, look. Do you want to be thrown in? We can arrange that.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you. We have the same principles. We stay in the back and we let the others go first. So I respect that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Plus, you know, you're from
right.
my homeland.
same organization. Even though that organization's filled with pirates, it's fine.
Look, crime,
Pirates can be
right,
trustworthy
social construct.
sometimes.
Okay? All I'm saying.
Agreed. Finders keepers. Isn't that how it works?
Yeah.
Possession's
Okay.
9/10 of the law.
What are they going to do? Take it back?
Can't if they're dead. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
There you go.
When I assume I would go first. So when I get down, I would like to just like kind of start surveying like the immediate area around, and I would like to put on a detect magic and just try and like feel out outside of just like the dark spawn aura I feel kind of everywhere. See if there's anything directly around us that might be a threat or some sort of magical ability that we might need to take care of.
Okay. Well, upon entering into the tunnel, it's dimly lit by just spots of what appears to be just magma, well, lava now that it's exposed to open air, but lava, just little spots of it, trickling out the walls and into almost these canals type thing that lead into what is now buried by rubble. So who's to say what it could have been at any point in time? But all throughout it's a very wide open space. And Torin, you can tell right away, you've been through the deep routes a couple of times. This space is clearly dwarven built. Plenty of cave-ins have long since destroyed any markings on the walls, and just centuries upon centuries of darkspawn running through have wiped out any recognizable artifacts. But what is left behind is just the long-standing architecture of dwarves. They are legends in their craft, and to build entire cities underground across a continent is honestly a feat that no one has ever matched, and frankly hasn't been matched since, because dwarves have lost a lot. But nonetheless, looking around with your detect magic, you'll glean even more spots of leftover spells of battle that took place here. Mostly fire spells. Grey Wardens, you know that dark spawns are weak to fire, and so clearly someone blew quite a few trying to just quickly blitz this, if you will. So you now, with that detect magic, kind of have an understanding that whoever was here was pushing a little bit fast and hard. So whoever you're now apparently following is going to be ahead of you by if they're based on the speeds they're going. But with that speed, lacks any sort of careful preparation. So if they don't get in fast and get out just as quickly, they're going to find themselves surrounded.
Okay.
Which is a dangerous thing.
Can I tell how far ahead they are of us? Like how long, I guess how warm the bodies are is the better way to ask that.
Yeah, if you want to do investigation or survival or something else that you think fits the scenario.
14 for survival.
14 for survival. Yeah, so you know that based on the temperature of these bodies, that they're still hotter than normal. So the fire struck quickly and then they moved on, and that fire that took them out, that residual heat is still clearly amassed on these bodies. Like they should, as you know, bodies get colder after death. These are still warmer than normal, so that means the fire was fairly recent. If any, probably the same day that you arrived, this fire was casted upon them.
In terms of magic use, would I know anything about the strain on a person? Not to break down the rules of the game, spell slots per day type of thing. Is there anything that I would know as they can only do magic so much before they have to stop and rest, or is there anything like that?
So with you being a Templar, I assume you're still taking lyrium to keep up that stuff. With you being that, that lyrium isn't just something that a Templar drinks to have their abilities. It is also something mages can use to feel their abilities. Okay. A mage can only cast so many spells before needing just a brief moment of respite, and as they cast more spells throughout the day, even more respite is needed. Otherwise, they might just pass out, or worse, they might fall prey to a demon just whispering in their ears, offering just that little bit more power.
Yeah.
But most of the time, mages will have to stop and rest. The only way to truly bypass that is by drinking lyrium, with a specialized element that only dwarves have been known to mine successfully, even though they themselves can't use it. That's their main source of trade with the outside world. Everyone wants that lyrium to power themselves up. If you want to do mass rituals, the more lyrium you're going to need. So you know that whoever's pushing on ahead is clearly pushing fast. So unless they have a decent stockpile of lyrium, they dive into blood magic. They have to be taking a rest, but the first two options are readily available.
Okay.
You're not sure who this is.
Kellen, you seem to know quite a bit about this magic up on the surface. Is this anything that you are familiar with, that we can ascertain who might be delving down here ahead of us? They seem to be pushing quite aggressively, and I fear that they might be overexhausting themselves and setting themselves up for failure in the long term.
Well, that sounds very convenient for us then, doesn't it? They're clearing the way for us, then we sweep in and take loot.
I suppose that is one way to look at it, but I fear that they might become tainted if they keep pushing themselves magically this hard. Should we try to catch up to them and perhaps open a conversation with them, or does the rest of the group feel like we should still maintain our distance and proceed with caution?
Well, it is a danger. You know, any mage faces that possibility, but I might have been feeling a bit. The spell work was pretty good. Okay, so you know they're probably quite familiar with this sort of thing. You know, I feel like they probably know what they're doing. Yeah, not any more than me, but like you know, it's with similar levels of understanding of this. And like I said, if something does go bad,
I totally believe
all
you.
to our benefit.
Okay.
Do we think they view it as a competition? Maybe they want this all to themselves.
Well, if they don't view it as a competition, that means they ain't trying as hard. So let's get in there before they do.
While you guys have all been having this conversation, Torin has just silently come over to you, and he has started inspecting your gear, and he's like patting it down, and especially with Grey Warden in particular, he's kind of really like getting things so that there's not as much rattle when you move around. As I cast Pass Without a Trace on all of us.
Nice.
And that's my way of describing it in a non-magical way, because Torin doesn't have an ounce of magic in his body.
Okay.
Say
That is a fantastic way to flavor that, by the way. That was well done,
That's
Richard.
awesome. Yes.
Thank you.
helping strap everyone down. Any jingling bits, any piece of jewelry on John, just like
Which, for those of you who don't know, Pass Without a Trace will give you a +10 bonus to your stealth checks.
Which is good, because I have disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So basically how the speeds are going to go is like if you move slowly, you're going to get advantage on stealth. If you move normally, it's just a stealth roll. And if you move quickly, it'll be a disadvantage stealth. So, but you also get a +10. So honestly, you could probably make quick if you want. With
If you
Tor
guys
leading
want
the
to
way.
chase, the bodies are still pretty warm, so if something's going to be coming and chasing whatever did this, it's going to be hitting us first. So if we're going to start moving, we should probably start cooking, and that's why I'm checking our gear out. So it's up to you guys if we want to go quick or slow.
Okay. Quick. Someone keep talking while Cody's just gone. Let's see. Let's go before a secondary Arcana check from Jean and Kaylin while Cody's stepped away.
Right.
Arcana?
Yeah. This is something I can try to give.
I
based on
actually have
rolls.
+5 to Arcana.
Ooh, love a bard.
That's 13.
13?
That's 25.
25.
I'm rolling
Plus
really
7, baby.
bad.
You'll get there. This is only your second roll. It's fine. Actually, I think your third roll, but it's all been fine.
Yeah.
It's all been fine. So on a 13, you pretty much kind of can glean the magic in the air that is around, and almost a touch of like just a bit too much fade in the area. Kaylin, with the 25, you glean off of the residual magic in the area because it's so fresh. The what is basically the spell work here, there's too much for it to have been truly just one mage casting stuff, like it's either A, there must be more than one mage, B, they are drinking way too much lyrium and that's a problem, or C, they're dipping into blood magic. Like there's too much for just one mage in such quick succession, because the fire in here is very much just after the fire outside as well.
Would
Like
I
it was
be
very
able
clearly
to
fired.
recognize if any of the corpses look like they've been drained through blood magic?
I feel like that would be a medicine check, honestly. Just in trying to check the blood content of a corpse is gonna be.
Okay, that's a natural 2. With 3.
There's blood and there is blood on the corpse.
Is there anyone in the party who has a higher medicine roll? Mine is +2, so I'm not gonna try.
That's all I got. +2.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Right, so guys,
Would I have
my-
any sort of advantage with blood because I'm a fan of it?
a blood
The weirdest way to
enthusiast, are you?
describe Grey Wardens and the whole blood stuff, but
But
Isn't that like
not
a
strictly
secret,
a fan.
canonically?
Sort
I'm not
of. The joining ritual is a secret. It's like the worst kept secret around. Everyone who's like got any amount of education kind of knows what that is.
yeah.
But it's a necessary evil to kind of like everyone agrees. Like it's either A, we do this one thing that kind of breaks a lot of rules, or B, we all die. That's the thing.
Fair enough.
So it's like everyone who's smart enough overlooks it. Everyone else, they just don't even know about it. So that's kind of how that works. But there's not much I could give you on this specific scenario. I guess you are a Templar, even if you were working for the Grey Wardens now. You could. I'll give you a medicine check, but that's the best I can give you. It's
Just a
gonna be
straight
weird.
roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I provide the help action? Because I'm getting closer and being like, what do you find so interesting? Can I help?
You know, with your knowledge of Darkspawn, I'll let this happen. Yeah.
Sweet. That is a 12.
12. Out of 12.
All that for a 12.
Yeah. Them's the dice. So yeah, you can, with a bit more panache, you know that yes, the Darkspawn have blood on them, and it's scattered all about. There's like, you can't quite balance it out in your head. It feels like there should be, with the amount of slashes on the body and across the area, there should be more blood on the walls or something, but it's like you can almost, maybe it's just like not enough light in here or something. It's like you can't, there's a gut instinct that feels like there's something off, but you can't quite put a finger on it.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's not really like I can't determine yes or no.
Yeah.
It's still a possibility, but it's not an obvious possibility. Okay.
Yeah.
These corpses are pretty heavily burned. I feel like there should be something, but I'm not able to determine. I feel like we should just be on our on full alert. I would advise moving quickly to catch up to these other would-be adventurers. They should be moving at a slower pace, even as effective as they are at dispatching the Darkspawn. It is still every fight slows them down. So I think if we move quickly, we should be able to catch up to them, and then we can determine if we should ally with them or maintain our distance.
Fair. So, everyone agrees we're pushing on quickly then?
I think it sounds fair.
Yeah.
I'm already at disadvantage either way, so
Stealth at disadvantage, everybody. Plus 10 from Pass Without Trace.
and
Are
a
we all at
plus 1.
disadvantage?
Stealth at disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was saying we push on aggressively, so that would put us at disadvantage. Okay. With the plus 10. Sorry, good.
18 with the pass without trace.
21.
Probably the highest roll I've ever had, 31.
With disadvantage?
With disadvantage.
Mate, I've got news for you, okay?
Wow.
I rolled 2 17s, that's 32.
Nice.
Nice.
What have I enabled?
Why is your stealth so high?
Oh. That's a plus
I'm-
5
I'm a
proficiency,
Gloomstalker.
plus 10 from pass that trace, and then
Hey, I'm a
17,
plus 7.
Stalker, right? Okay.
17 on the dice with disadvantage.
Birthday. What have I enabled?
Listen, you could be glad it was with disadvantage because I did have a 20.
Like,
Aw.
at this,
I rolled a
It's
20
like-
and a 10.
y'all are gonna blitz my dungeon at this point. In fact, those kind of rolls,
Let's
even
go!
at disadvantage,
I got
my
stuff to do
dungeon
tonight.
will be blitzed. Oh man. Okay. With Torin leading the way and like somehow both simultaneously leading the way while also covering up each of like anytime one of you has something dangling that makes a noise, Torin is somehow also there to just cover that up. It's like, no, put that away. We
You gotta
can't
loop
be
that
doing
around
right
this. You gotta pad that up.
now.
Sticking like pieces of cloth underneath my chainmail so it stops rattling everywhere.
With your consent, of course.
Of course.
And even Kaylin stepping up and just like padding out some noises here and there, occasional prestidigitation for to just like cover up with just in the clear distance you can hear water drops or maybe lava just like pouring in, those kind of ambient noises, and you're just like matching to those, and very quietly I was just like, Sean, you know that you're being quiet, but like these two are ghosts. And even like you want to pay attention and try to watch them, but it's like you're losing track of them even though you're following them, and you're pushing through very
I'm
quickly.
at a disadvantage.
All right, with those rolls, pushing through very quickly, Vox, you start to sense more darkspawn in the coming. None of them are in your way, but it's the sense that something is closing in on you.
Okay.
And there are paths just leading off into the distance. Like you're following a path of carnage. It's like fire spell here, blade wounds here, just like following through and not stopping to like examine every single corpse because you kind of imagine what happened based on the damage.
Mm-hmm.
You do notice like some open pathways here and there that if you want to take the time to try and like shut them, and hopefully darkspawn doesn't come out behind you, or if you want to maintain pace and keep pushing forward, that's on you. This is a choice all of you can make. You all will notice this.
We also need to think about getting out of here after we're done.
Yes, I agree. I think we're pushing forward at an incredible pace. Well done, Torin. I appreciate the help. But we should be securing our exit as well. So I think we should take the briefest of moments to secure these exterior chambers.
All right. Go up to the chamber. Is it like a door? Is it an open pathway?
They are dwarven-made doors. They're kind of designed specifically with the idea of if you try to invade, they could just shut this door off from one side, and it's a giant brick stone. Like you're not getting through that quickly, if at all. So it's like that's designed to just cut people off for honestly days, even weeks before anyone could possibly like hammer their way through. That's what these are designed. With your background of the deep rites, go ahead and roll advantage to be like how quickly you can just shut these down. You could, it'd be history or survival, I suppose.
I was just going to ask, is there like a history check I can make to see if, like, the path we're on, is this just an additional side road that just happened to fall in? Or is this like a main thoroughfare and these are the side roads? Like, because I'm now worried about like us going down this main path and cutting off our own escape by shutting these tunnels. So is there a check I can make to like, obviously I don't have a lot of knowledge about Dwarven architecture, but something I can try to make to make sure we're not cutting ourselves off.
Like, well,
I think Jean might also be able to give the help action on a history check, because as a bard, he reads a lot of books.
That's fair. So, like, there's a path back that you came from, and that one isn't shut down. There was a door if you wanted to shut your own way in. Like, there was one door passage that you eventually would have to go through, and that was the way back. If you want to close yourselves in, it didn't seem like the smartest thing to do for me. But based on the tunnel that you first entered into, it seemed very well caved in. It didn't seem like there was a lot of entrances or exits. But like amongst those, there was some side entrances you can try and close in that room. But there is the main door in which you're following this path of destruction.
Okay.
That one you could shut if you want, but like this is just.
Is there a way for us to determine which doors are more favorable to shut off, or we just make the decision to shut them all off?
Let's see.
Is that what the survival check was for?
Let's do like survival or history. Survival will tell you like which doors to focus on, perhaps. History would tell you how quickly you can like actually feasibly close these doors. Trying to, obviously, the dwarven architecture, though strong, parts of it were destroyed. So it's like there's going to be some quick slap job repair jobs done on these to try and like get them, because they're closed by giant stone slabs. They're not something you can easily lift on your own. So, survival of how quickly you can close doors, or history.
Okay. And you said that's an advantage for survival?
Someone's giving the help action, so one of you is getting advantage.
Okay, Torin loves dwarven architecture, but he doesn't know anything about it. He doesn't know any history books or anything like that. So he's gonna just see which ones need to be closed to keep us alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a natural 20.
Yeah. Let's go.
Anyone want to make that history check? But I think we got it covered mostly. Like, Torin, you can very quickly tell, like, there's some doors that had a dark spot or two that gone through it before, but honestly, it didn't seem like that's a well-trailed tunnel for them. Whereas other doors, there's very clearly, like, debris and random stuff just thrown about that looks like newer. And so you can kind of tell, oh, this is probably a more well-traveled area. And you can easily, like, you'll focus your efforts on those doors and quickly shut those down. And if you do, based on what you've done so far, you can kind of tell there's going to be, if there is dark spawn throughout the other tunnels, it'll be minimal and manageable. If you want to try and shut more doors, you could maybe shut down more. But honestly, this feels manageable if you're trying to make a quick escape.
I'm going down certain doorways, and I'm like, you see, there's the signs that they've been coming through here. You see all their tracks. So you want to close this one. And then this one over here looks like, I don't know, maybe a bathroom for them. So they don't go in there very often. So you probably leave that open.
Because Darkspawn don't stink enough already.
Right?
We sure we want to leave that one open, though?
They'll never follow us in there, so maybe.
Just go do your cleaning magic.
Yeah, you're magical, right?
Look.
Yeah, I will help.
I draw the line of Darkspawn blood.
I'll help Torn shut up these doors as fast as possible, and then the ones that we're leaving open, I want to just like with a piece of chalk, just mark, something just to indicate like easily manageable. Darkspawn have been here, but not a lot. In case we do have to take a different route coming back, something like that.
Alrighty. So, shutting down only what seemed to be the most well-traveled doors, pushing through very quickly with your quiet stealth. Let's see. Pushing along. Nothing really slowing you down. I thought that might, but nope, not really. So, we're rolling great on certain things, rolling terrible on other things. Let's go. But, pushing along, and eventually you start to hear, as the senses of like, oh, there's dark spawn ahead, get ready. Vought very quietly like starts to alert the party, just one at a time, just like, hey, this is coming up. As you approach, you can start to hear the sounds of combat happening in the distance. The explosions, swords clanging on armor, and darkspawn just getting louder and louder, just going and going and going. And eventually you do come up on a very wide clearing. Off in the distance, you can see giant dwarven statues standing upon pillars, reaching deep down in unknown darkness. You can't possibly tell how tall these statues are. Like, clearly below the surface, but shockingly, these caverns so wide and deep. It's a wonder that human architecture survives on the surface. Like, should it all just be sinkholing now? Shockingly, no. Dwarven architecture is that good. So, but you.
So let's throw Vakt up, and then eventually he'll hit the ceiling, right?
What is it with you about throwing people?
Also,
Have you tried it? It's very entertaining, man.
I am possibly the heaviest person here. I'm the least likely to be thrown up.
How's teleportation suit you?
So
We're all friends here.
Yeah, coming into this clearing with the dwarven architecture dotting throughout the background, and you could almost see what the remains of a huge city that may have been, what its purpose or how it came to be. It's long been lost. But before you, in this huge corridor, now lit up pretty brightly with all sorts of lava and magma just coming in, and before it just falls off this cliff that looked like it could have been a bridge at some point, long since destroyed. You see a group of. Let's go, Jean. Jean, you would know them just by looking at them because you've lived in Tevinter, and you have your history with certain magisters. These are what appear to be wearing Venatori colors, and
Ooh.
there's clearly just plain soldiers striking out at Darkspawn, and with them is a mage who is casting fire magic and very just kind of going big and just spectacular, really, and just what it seems to be is that the warriors are entirely just there to buy time while the mage just gathers up the magic he needs, kills a bunch of darkspawn, takes and immediately follows up with absorbing blood out of the corpses he's leaving behind and firing more while the warriors. It's an effective strategy. It would eventually lose to just the overwhelming numbers of the darkspawn, but for now, if whatever they're doing, and it's working, it's effective, but they are pushing fast. In the distance, give me a perception check for each of you. See what we get here.
Except for all of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a group of about 5 warriors and 1 mage, and just
Also, do I recognize any of them?
not from this distance. Well, let's see what your perception is.
Okay.
6. I can take him.
Ooh. 21.
6, 21,
Dirty 20.
30, 20.
I also had a modified 20.
All right.
I'm clearly
So
just
6.
entranced by this repeated motion of murder, suck blood, murder, suck blood. I'm just like, what is going on? I've
It's an
never seen
effective
that.
strategy, but it is not long standing.
I think I
Yeah,
can take him.
like if
You know, spell work ain't that good. You know, I've seen better. I've done better.
Kaylin, you do notice that the spell work isn't that good. This is not like they're either A, dispensed with any sort of spellcraft and are just firing away, or B, this isn't the person you saw their handiwork outside. This is someone else.
So either they've
But
gotten desperate,
either way-
or there's someone else here.
Yeah. So, and then Fox, you know, their formation and like the way they're doing it. This is something Grey Wardens have done it better, but honestly, if like you were to do a basic idea of how Grey Wardens might fight Darkspawn, this is something that like a very basic rudimentary idea of it is, and it is effective. But again, it's based on numbers. One mage isn't going to be able to keep this up forever. Like there's only so much they can do, but for now they're winning, but like it's the Darkspawn aren't then it's basically 5 men against an army. Like it's a winning. They're clearly more skilled, and it's a winning battle for now. But it will turn eventually.
Yeah, okay.
They have maybe an hour at best. Jean, with your 21?
21.
Yeah. So you don't quite notice. Well, you can't quite make out who they might be. But you do see a bit more off in the distance is like you can see some Venatori guarding another tunnel that's leading further, and they're just kind of standing there quite stoically and just like watching the battle take place, maybe just like a rear guard. But from this distance, you can't quite make out who specifically this mage might be, if anyone special at all. But for them to the spellcraft. Yeah, Kaylin knows the spellcraft. Yeah, it's going.
So.
Yeah, but you do pick up on in the distance. There's another tunnel being somewhat guarded by just a couple, just normal soldiers. They're wielding armor, wearing heavy plate and a shield and a sword.
I mentioned that to the group, so they all noticed them.
Okay. So in the center of this clearing, there's a mage and a couple of soldiers fighting the darkspawn, and then off from that group, there's another small group of other soldiers guarding a tunnel.
Yeah, just two.
Once we realize these are Venatori or might be Venatori, you see Jean's demeanor entirely change into kind of like somewhat of a focused killer. He's drawing his knife out.
Yeah.
And he has it like ready, and he's like looking at them and super focused and trying to glean any information he can about them at that moment.
All right, mate. Calm down. Okay. They're distracting him,
does
right?
Torn pick up on this?
Yeah, y'all. Well, Torin, you've rolled very low on perception. You're honestly just
Yeah.
the way you've handled the deep roads is quietly, quickly, and without being seen.
Mm-hmm.
Such a big display of a battle taking place is like, I guess that works too. Like you're just caught up in that moment of
It's like I'm like the hubris.
yeah.
They are going to die so hard, but I respect that.
And so
Yeah.
soon.
So, man, let's get out of here while they're busy dying, right? We do our whole thing, and then we get out. They're distracting them for us.
Definitely the two modified 20s, you'd pick up the change in John's demeanor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think also as we get into like this more lit room, it's clear that at some point in the darkness since landing in the deep roads, Kalen has cast mage armor on himself somewhere. He's ready for this, or ready for something to go wrong.
So this is my ignorance on the lore. How would I, as a Templar and then Grey Warden, actually feel about blood magic?
So,
Because you said that was like they're obviously using blood magic for the spells. So now I'm wondering, like, do we try to ally with them, or do I hate them because they're blood magic, and we just kind of third party them?
So, like, so blood magic is generally severely frowned upon everywhere. There's not really a place anywhere that's like, oh, cool, blood magic. How are you doing it? It's the smartest of mages will know. There are like a few ways you could learn. A Templar might sort of know this. Definitely in your order, it would just be blood magic bad, kill on sight. That is generally the idea. Learning, but superseding that, you're now a Grey Warden, and the process of blood magic is something that, like, it's an acceptable evil, because you've learned since then that it's not, oh, you do blood magic, you're evil, you're bad, let's kill you. It's honestly, the reason for that is that blood magic is essentially learned three different ways. There's one, you learned it from someone else. Someone taught you how to do it, and that's generally the best way to learn it. And it can be used as a more potent form of lyrium to replace the spell components and like the necessity of energy for it. But it sacrifices your own blood, essentially, or even the blood of others if you're skilled enough. But that's one way. Another way, you read a really good book, but that's limited to what's in the book. And you can only really do the one spell that book taught you. The third way, and this is the most common and what causes the distrust of blood magic, is you made a contract with a demon and the demon gave you the knowledge of how to do it. This method, generally, if you're just not a strong enough person of will, could immediately end in possession, and the demon is now just running off with your body and doing whatever they want. And when that happens, you kind of revert to being what's known as an abomination. And those things can wipe out villages in less than a couple hours. Like, that's the fear on them is a very real and earned fear. It's not like something that's very lightly treated. So blood magic, no matter what, would be investigated as a Grey Warden. assuming it's not like a fellow Grey Warden. They're generally trusted to handle themselves well. But if it's blood magic outside of that, it's not something you should approach easily or like, hey, friend. That's always something you want to take a moment and figure out, is this person actually in control, or is this a high-level demon that's taking control of them? At the very least, if they're still in a human body, you can kind of tell, like, at least this thing is smart enough to be spoken with.
Okay.
What that could mean, it could be a demon you're talking to. It could be just a person controlling well.
Okay.
Also, just in terms of like your own character, the way Templars would look at blood magic is also very associated with how religious they are. So I'm not sure that's a you decision. A religious Templar would see it as a huge sin.
Yeah, if you're still completely all in on the chantry and the chant of light, then yeah, you would still be mostly against it. The Grey Wardens would obviously be like, cool your head.
Calm down.
Yeah, but like, and how well you took to that training, that retraining of that specific thing is up to you. Jean, you would know that being into Vinter and having spent a lot of time there, especially as a Shadow Dragon who spent a lot of time in this game, blood magic is the most magically free country in all of Thedas. Blood magic is in public frowned upon, but in secret everyone knows that, like, Tevinter still does blood magic behind closed doors. It's like, just keep it behind closed doors. It's basically how everyone treats it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, if you do it in public, they have to act on you and arrest you and put you on trial. But everyone knows every single magister is probably doing something shady in the shadows. And they carry around slaves with them, and they sacrifice slaves all the time. Slaves go missing all the time, and no one investigates them. That's what the Shadow Dragons actually, part of what they do is they investigate those disappearances. They're trying to make it better to Vinter.
I think Jean's work with the Shadow Dragons gave him a lot of insight about how much secrets there are in Minrathous.
Yeah, definitely would earn a lot of insights that way. So that's the general attitude of blood magic. So with your background, it's definitely approach everything with caution.
I think
if at all.
I would see that flare up in Jean once we all kind of notice the blood magic, and that would kind of trigger something in me from being the Templar. But like at this point in my life, I'm kind of all in on being Grey Warden. So now I'm trying to. Yes, this is bad, but we could probably use this to our advantage. They are clearing the way for us. There is an end point to that magic, so maybe we just hang back, let them do their thing, and maybe form a temporary alliance with them. So I'll place a hand on Jean's shoulder as they start to get more agitated about this. Like, hold, my friend. Perhaps an alliance can be formed temporarily, of course, and we can use them as our fighting force.
I don't really care about their lives, but if I recognize one of them, I will kill them. That's a promise.
That is
sort of
duly
lean over
noted.
and go, look, Matt, so you see that losing battle they're fighting? I don't think you need to worry about killing them. They're digging their own grave, mate. You don't interrupt when your enemy's making a mistake.
I will look at Kaelin. I will give you a side eye look and be like, I have a lot of history with the Venatori. Don't test me.
Well, Matt, I'm saying they're going to be history in a few minutes, so just take
Oren's off a little to the front.
take a couple steps back.
Hey, guy, I think they're using blood magic. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yes, Torin, please
Great
come back.
observation, man.
We are aware.
I
Thank
don't
you for
think
that information.
I don't know if we should go over there. It feels like a bad idea, but it's also really bright and pretty.
Bright and pretty.
Just lots of explosions. I don't know how to feel about it. It's not something you see down here.
Is there, just from looking where we're at, is there a way we could possibly, while they're still fighting, can we sneak around to where that tunnel is that's being guarded by 2 people, and maybe just like sneak down that tunnel without alerting everybody else, and then like we would be.
So, with those amazing stealth rolls from earlier, I will ask for a reroll right just a second. What I will say is, your path forward right now is through that tunnel where the Venatori are guarding. There are a couple of other side passages, but it's hard to tell exactly where those will lead. But you can get through the battlefield without alerting the people in battle. If you want to go down that tunnel, it is 2 guys staring at that tunnel.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with those 2 somehow. There's no just walking through and be like, you don't see that. They're going to see. So, but you can get through to those 2 within striking distance of your range. And maybe if you're fast enough on foot with your melee, but you won't, just walking through and getting to that where you can try and make that plan, you won't alert the people fighting because fiery explosions are loud, and as are darkspawn. So, or you can try and take a side passage and see where that goes.
If we can, I don't want to jeopardize our mission, but if we can go through a path that allows us to take a good look at those fighting, I will appreciate it. But it's your decision, fact.
Yeah, I think then we would try and like sneak around, and if we just need to like knock out 2 guards real quick, we could do that. I think that would be, and then we can take that path down while they're still fighting back here. Yes, I think we can.
Right.
Dealing with 2 guards over by that tunnel is more apt of a success than joining in this fight here. We'll let them do their thing. We'll take these 2 out over here.
Okay. Jean, if you want to get closer to the mage and try to glean any family symbols on them, I'm going to ask for a self roll from you specifically. This won't be passed without a trace because you're going to be, unless the party wants to push there with you, which I'll have to ask everyone for a stealth roll.
No, Jean won't jeopardize the mission.
Okay, so if you, without that, then perception at disadvantage is the best I can give you to try. Specifically, you're focusing on the mage.
Okay. Okay, so it is a 12.
12. With a 12, you can tell there is a family symbol there. And if you could just get closer.
I hate you so much.
That's if you rolled a little bit higher, you'd be like, nah, I might have given you nope on a 12. I already called it at the beginning of the game. 12 was the best number.
Oh, I have lucky. I can re-roll.
If you want to spend lucky, I'll let it.
I have 1.
Why, Oren, what dice are you rolling over there by chance?
Oh, glad you asked. This is the Dragon Age dice.
Natural segue.
Very cool dice. And if you want to get them, by the way, you can check the description for more information and a discount.
For that shameless plug, disadvantage.
Shameless plug at disadvantage? Okay, that's worse. That's a 9.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you go closer, you can't quite gleam it out. But it is going to be a risk of stealth without trace. But
okay, Jean knows that going there alone and being discovered is more of a danger to himself than just realizing who this person is, and they're already. He's trying to convince himself that they're already fighting a losing battle, but of course he must determine at the end if it is someone he knows, and if it is someone he knows, he must kill them. But for now, I think he will go with the group.
Okay. Well, okay. You bite your tongue and just the anger welling up inside, and you're keeping on task, and you're gonna focus on you guys.
Question.
Yes.
Am I within 30 feet of them?
The group or the
mage?
The mage. No.
Okay.
That's basically the range you'd need to actually kind of glean who they are, or possibly any family crest, and without that would require you to step out of.
Yeah.
But you gotta bite the tongue and move on.
I will bite the tongue and move on.
You're talking about the tech bots, right?
Yes.
Yeah, with a lot of keep bugging on. But pushing on to these, you guys are going for the big tunnel with the 2 Venatori soldiers. You're within range of the range characters, but you know if you don't take them out fast, this is basically each of you are going to get 1 action, and if you can take them out with your 4 actions, then you're not going to alert the group over there. That'll be the end of this last little bit of stealth from the previous rolls.
Can I try to deceive them?
That's an option. There are other options if you want to try and walk through. That would require. So discuss your plans, really. Discuss your plans.
So I'm thinking that I might deceive them and have them not being aware that you are coming to attack them, because I know that my attacks are probably going to be a lot weaker than the group. So I think if I can deceive them somehow, that would be helpful to taking them out faster.
So I was thinking kind of the same thing, but mostly just to scare them out of the tunnel.
I can try that too.
Being a Grey Warden, I can be like, hey, you've already fought some Darkspawn. I'm investigating a possibility of a Blight. So maybe you should GTFO, let us figure this out. And then hopefully we don't have to kill them. But if we have to, we have to. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, try and scare them out of here.
And
how's your deception, buddy?
It's fantastic. Actually, it's not bad. It's +5.
So maybe I should try it.
Well, yeah. No, yeah. Like you try it, but I'll give you the help action. Like I'm a Grey Warden. The Darkspawn are much worse than you think. Just the few you've killed. This guy's magic's only going to last for so long. Get out of here while you can.
So in the event that we have some kind of fallout happen and we need a backup plan, Torrent's going to lean in and be like, well, I can shoot them both in the head and drop a smoke grenade if we need to beat feet, so to speak. So I got us if your guys' thing doesn't go through. And I'll take my time and go around so that I'm still in the shadows, but equally aware and still in line of sight of these guards.
Okay.
Yeah,
In usual fashion, I think Kaelin's going to follow around, preparing some more fiery spells, specifically Scorching Ray, to make a couple shots off if he needs to.
Okay. So this is Jean and Vacht approaching these guards to try and...
Okay, wait. Before we actually approach, I take out my dagger and I slash my arms and I slash my my shoulders too, like small slashes, but enough to draw blood, so I look like I'm bloodied. And then I am going to approach with Vacht, but I am going to just fall on the floor and like be bleeding while you explain that we are just running away from this potential blight that you're sensing.
Okay. So that will give the advantage over to Vacht, and because you're just playing dead. So Vacht, give me your best. Well, upon approach, you see the guards immediately like step into the way of the tunnel and between you and the tunnel, and just like they do draw swords, but they're not charging, and they're like, "Stop! Who are you?"
I won't draw a sword because I don't want to be threatening to them. I want them to feel threatened by the whole area. I understand you are coming down here to investigate the possibility of the deep roads and some lost artifact. However, it has come to the attention of the Grey Wardens that this might be the onset of a blight, and I am here to confirm that or not. But I feel like it is in your best interest to leave this place as fast as possible. I see you've already encountered quite a few Darkspawn, and you are capable warriors, but a blight is no match for any small group such as this. I would advise fleeing this area while I confirm a blight or not.
A blight? Here? Blights usually mean they take to the surface. There's too much down here for it to be a blight. Go
Yes,
ahead.
this is the very beginnings of it, and they are pushing their way towards the surface. You fought some already on the surface.
We imagine that just what happens when a cave-in happens, that sometimes Darkspawn will get curious. But... Yes. Okay. Noticing your armor gleaming with Grey Warden and noticing your half-passed out friend on the floor bleeding out. It's like, is there something wrong with your friend there?
They are after us. They are coming.
Okay. Go ahead, give me advantage. Deception? Yeah.
Can I do this as intimidation? I am trying to scare them, not particularly from me, but just the overall Darkspawn scariness.
Yeah. You know, I'll give you this intimidation because of your dying friend. Truly, I wouldn't have, but the bleeding out person helps us so much.
I think as me and Torin are watching this, I sort of lean over and go like, "What? Is he dead? Was that part of the plan?" Is he good?
No, I think he just ruined a really nice shirt.
I didn't really get that sort of vibe from him. I thought he'd be more careful with his clothes.
With advantage, that becomes a 24.
24.
Nice.
Plus 8 advantage, baby. Or intimidation.
Yeah. All right. You can see them. They're standing straight. They stand at attention. These are well-trained soldiers, but you can also see just as clearly just that the bead of sweat. Yes, there's lava nearby. There's heat. They're wearing full armor, but that bead of sweat isn't something from the heat. They work with the magisters that have cast fire magic constantly. This bead of sweat is clearly a sense of nerves breaking in a moment when they should be stalwart. And they proceed, they look at their allies fighting, and yes, their allies are winning right now, but they can only see nothing but more and more Darkspawn past them. And they look at each other, and you see a life decision made this day. Do we face the existential threat of the Darkspawn, or do we face the potential anger of our master later if they find us alive? And Thedas is a big country. They can be found anywhere else. And decide to just walk around you, keeping their eyes on you, but circling around, and proceed to just back up until they feel quite safe enough, and proceed to just book it. Just they're out, shaking armor. Torin, you're almost disappointed in the shaking armor as you can see one of the soldiers who's doing the battle turns and sees them. They're like, "Oi, what the hell?" And but he has to stay and keep fighting. He can't just leave his position. He just sees his two guys. They leaving, and they're like, "What?" But he can't abandon his position, otherwise this phalanx falls. So he's got to just stay, and the Magister is way too busy casting magic to even he can't stop for a second. So you have a clear tunnel in front of you.
So as they fully book it, I rise up from the floor, and in full view of all of you, I cast mending on myself, on my shirt, and fix my clothing, and then I will be like, I guess I owe you a little explanation, yes? Well, let's do it quickly before we continue. These guys over there, the Venatori, they did something very bad to me, and I want to destroy them for it, but there are 3 people that I need to kill in the Venatori because they did experiments on me and tied something from the Fade to me, and that allows me to use some magic. But I am not a mage like you, Kalen. I can only do a little few things. But once I get rid of them, I will get rid of this defiling power and return to my family in Orle.
I am sorry that happened to you, my friend. But that is a mission for another day. Let us carry on.
Yes, for now they are serving as our distraction, and hopefully they find their end that way. But if we are on our way out and we happen to see them, we can put a bolt in their head for you.
I'm no stranger to the abuse for greater power, man. I'm with you if you want to take him down later on.
Although to keep
Thank
my
you.
name out of it, I don't want to be involved in any politics. That's a you thing, not me.
Don't worry, I won't mention you to the Empress.
Thank you. The Empress. And clock that, and I'm going to walk.
File that one away for later.
Kaylin, go ahead and give me a Arcana roll for the magic cast of fulfilling
That's gonna be that one.
that one.
What is my Arcana?
Definitely magic. It's definitely not something a normal human can do. Push it into the tunnel.
Damn, man,
Carrying
that sure is the magic right there.
The real magic is inside us all along.
The friends made along the way.
The friends and the intimidations.
Intimidations.
All right, pushing into this tunnel. All right. We'll ask for a fresh stealth roll from all of you. Fast or
Has it been an hour since the first stealth roll? Is my question.
no? Your passage of trace is fine. They'll still be here.
Then still have plus 10.
So let's do it in disadvantage.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we should keep pushing fast to try and get some space between us and them. So,
I-
Yeah.
Just
Because also, if they decide to retreat,
no!
then they're going to bring all the Darkspawn with them, and we don't want to be dealing with that.
I rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
And they got a 14.
26.
Also 26.
Okay, good.
I think also as
Okay.
we're just sort of leaving that room, Kaelin takes a sort of a long look at the mage doing blood magic and fireballs and all sorts over there, and just like, yeah, fireballs ain't great, but some damn good blood magic, and then just sort of follows along you guys.
So 14, 1, 26, 26. With the 1. The kind of
So it's 11 because of Pass Without a Trace.
We all wish it was 11.
I think your cat wants to learn blood magic over there, Cody. I hear
Sounds like it, yeah.
So yeah, with the natural 1, very quickly undoing. So we're gonna rely.
Wait, should I spend a lucky for this? I think so, right?
Let me tell you the consequence, and I'll let you. Not like the in-game consequence, the meta consequence. I'm basically gonna dismiss the 226s because of the natural 1 and rely on Cody's 14. So
Okay, so I
is the
will
14
spend a
good
lucky.
enough for you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this very obvious sign.
It's your choice, but
Means you have one lucky point left then.
Where is it? There it is. Okay, so I used 1 and now the second one. Okay. Okay, it's better. It's 8. So 8 plus 10, 18.
alrighty. So with that improved roll, we get to keep those 26s alive.
Yes.
And the 14 being your lowest roll. Torin and the rest of you, you're pushing a little bit faster and moving a little quicker. Torin, there's a bit more rattling coming from Vought. You just can't keep that armor strapped down. You've tried so much, and honestly, you're a little sick of it. But you think you're pretty sure with the fighting happening in the background, you can get away with a little bit. Pushing further down, you eventually come into a bit of a crossroads situation where you can tell the fiery explosions are happening down the bigger tunnel, and that's probably leading to this eventual Venatori encounter. On the other one, there's not. Give me a perception check, actually, Torrens. Let's see if you can get past this with your knowledge of the deep roads and getting used to all these echoes.
Perception?
Yeah.
Straight roll? Somebody want to give me the help action? Maybe, perhaps.
I think I'm too
On
focused
on perception.
us getting through the tunnel ahead of the people behind us. I don't think I would be able to assist you in any way.
Could I try and light the way
Alright.
better?
I
maybe?
think
like a quick sort of firebolt.
I got a 6.
I
is all
think-
I'm saying.
If you want to firebolt down the tunnel that isn't having the fighting happening, you can. Sure. I mean, you can
I
fire
think-
down
Not the
either
most,
tunnel.
not the most
actually,
stealthy
but-
approach though.
I think
I'm
with Jean's discovery of Venatori in here, he is trying to be more perceptive, so he will try to help Torin.
Okay. So advantage to Torin.
That is a dirty 20.
Okay. So
Much better.
you've been, with your other adventures into the deep roads, you have a better handling on kind of echoes throughout caves. You know there's a fiery battle, happening down one cave onto your left, and then toward this other side entrance that is thinner. It's subtle, and you kind of have to pick it up in between fiery explosions and the sword clanging over there. But you can hear like the steps of another person's armor. It's just like one or two people, and they're going down this smaller tunnel. And these one or two, there's the occasional sword clang and dropping of a body, but it's very clearly like quick movements. It's a lot more what you're doing, what you usually do, what you rely on. It's a bit more around that. So that is happening down the other side tunnel. It's thinner, and you might have to like two at a time, one at a time sometimes, but like
And I guess my question would be, can I tell if those bodies are approaching us or going away from us?
both are leading away.
Okay.
So
I'm like, I look at Vox and I use the fingers on the eyes and I point towards the tunnel, and then I hold up 2 fingers, pull out my crossbow, and then I start kind of basically full soldiering it, getting ready, peering around the tunnels.
Yeah, I think at this point with Torn pointing that out, I think it would be switching from aggressive to more cautious. If they're in here doing sneaky stuff, they're probably, in my eyes, they're more wise than the aggressive force behind us. So they would probably be more of a harder challenge. So I think, I'll pull my, I have javelins, I guess. I'll pull my sword out, and start to cautiously head down that side tunnel.
okay.
Also, as I see both Vogt and Torin preparing weapons, I will also take out my knife, my dagger, and also years of sneaking around and trying to kind of learn more about the Venatori has given Jean the alert fate. So if there are any sneaky stuff, he would notice.
Okay. So
Okay,
so you,
I was wondering, do you think either me or Torin would have heard anything about other Lords of Fortune potentially coming down here?
no. Straight up no. With as far as you two know, like Lords of Fortune don't really form groups. They tend to want to form their own legends, and it always sounds cooler when you did it alone. So it's like they're in small parties, or like they rarely. Some do form pirate bands or stuff like that, but it's it can vary greatly. But as far as you know, no one else has been sent down here. You two were the ones hired because Sir Sutherland just happened to find you two when he went to Ravane.
It's what attracted Torin to the job, actually, is wanting to learn more about it and get away from the pirating lives, and honestly getting away from the big governments that are constantly at war with each other. He's like, I know my enemies in the deep roads. It's always going to be Darkspawn, and that's never going to change.
Yeah.
Same question for the Shadow Dragons, Hendrik. Do I know of a Shadow Dragon who would come here?
No. Like the information network of the Shadow Dragons is impressive, and they usually try to pass messages along. It's like, hey, I'm going to this location. If I don't come back, you kind of guess what happened. But just know that, like I've tracked the Venatori presence to here, and it's like, if something happens, it means the Venatori succeeded, and that's usually bad. Like Venatori and the Shadow Dragons are opposites of the same coin. They both want a better Tevinter. Venatori think that's going backwards and really kicking up the slave trade. Shadow Dragons would really like to kill off slaves, honestly. Like let's stop doing slaves. Like we could be better than this, right, guys? Like that's Shadow Dragons. The better Tevinter is a very clear difference of ideas here. But so you did leave behind some messages saying this is where you're going in case you disappear, but you haven't heard anyone else say I'm going there too or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
Am I right in assuming the same thing about the Grey Wardens? Like if there was another Grey Warden here, they would have told me?
Yeah,
Okay.
Normally, you chose to get here fast, and because you did manage to link up with these three through Sutherland as well. But normally, you'd want to wardens would want to have a second person here for investigating, and it's really like it's nearly impossible to sneak up on one Grey Warden. It's impossible to do it to two. Like so like usually you send in two as a investigation, but you chose speed and these allies for now.
Okay.
Can Grey Wardens sense each other?
Honestly, the lore is unclear, but it's supposed to be the Grey Wardens don't specifically sense Darkspawn. They sense the taint, and every Grey Warden technically has the taint within them. So I would say yes, but it's like unclear on that front. Like, I'm pretty sure yes. I would bet on yes.
In that vein, then, am I getting any? Like, I know that's like the whole area is kind of tainted around me, but is there any like specific flavor of taint for? Oh, gross! I hate that sentence. Is there any specific flavor of taint for like Grey Warden to Grey Warden? Is it like this is hinted strawberry, but Darkspawn is hinted raspberry?
All right, pal. What's flavored thing you want?
your
Okay, we got Grey Warden, we got Darkspawn.
We got
Flavor
with
taint
chocolate
coming
chip.
this fall.
The new ones are flavored vanilla.
we got just blighted individual over there who got poisoned.
Get
No
your
Grey
fall
Warden
pumpkin
hits the
spice
same
taint.
Public spice.
We got person halfway down toward becoming a ghoul. Like, no. You haven't been in. You don't sense any. Like, you sense the taint of Darkspawn, and they are being blinked out one at a time, very methodically, based on the pacing of when they're getting blinked out. But you don't sense anything like those two or the couple individuals down there. It's like you can't quite make out them. Like you specifically only know of them because Torn
mentioned
it out.
Yeah. Okay. So they're some unknown party to all of us. So I would. I think now is the time for caution. They are very precise in their movements up ahead. I think we should try our best to sneak up on them and proceed with caution.
Okay. So you've all chosen the quieter path, the side tunnel, and you're gonna put off the fighting tunnel. That's the mage you've been following up to this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So with your stealth rolls, 14, 18, yeah, that's enough. What do you have? You're at? Yeah, you don't have enough, so making your way. But making your way down this tunnel, it gets thin at certain paces. There's cave-ins that happen into this tunnel that kind of turn it into a one-man path. I assume Torin or Vot pushing in first. Who would go first?
I think at this point, knowing that there's like a two-person kill squad, basically, I think I would, as Torin has been more perceptive, but since this is getting closer towards the Darkspawn, I think I would take the lead.
Okay.
And start leading with
I'll
like
be
Torin
right behind Vogt, providing cover and having my crossbow ready.
All right.
Cody, as a Templar, do you have any do you have Mage Slayer, for example?
I should have given you Mage Slayer for free. Oh well.
Ah, dang. I was gonna ask how like the Channel Divinities would work in this Dragon Age flavor, but I will ask about those when I feel like they would come up. So I think we're good for right now.
Cool.
I thought about a few things. So, like, part of it was like maybe you were on the path becoming a seeker before becoming a Grey Warden, which is basically a seeker does everything a Templar does, but more, and also without lyrium.
Okay.
But that requires a year of training and fasting and all sorts of specialized rituals. So it's like, and also seekers were mostly wiped out about 10 years ago. So you would have been just like on the beginning of the training if you started becoming Grey Warden. But they're basically Templars on steroids is what a seeker is.
Gotcha.
Like one seeker could do what 10 Templars could do. So it's like, they're very, very specialized at that point. But, and they don't eventually lose their minds to lyrium addiction. But for now, if you want to flavor it that way, just the beginnings of secret trading and whatnot. But for now, with you pushing down this tunnel, go ahead and give me perception.
All of us.
Straight.
Just Voct, because it is a one-man tunnel. It's based on what Voct's peeking up the front. I will give you advantage with Torin peeking out behind you. And
Sweet. My perception is not great.
let's see what my is.
13.
13.
Glad I had advantage because I had rolled a 2 and then a better number.
And then a better number. But it wasn't a good enough number.
Yeah, 13's not the best.
Yeah. You peek around a corner and you see. You said you were a bit short for a Canary.
Yeah.
This guy isn't. He's big for a Canary. He stands over 7 feet tall and full armor covering up everything. And like you could see the battle scars on his armor, and honestly, about a dozen Darkspawn dead around him. And there's scars on his armor, sure, but there's not a single cut on him as he's standing there wielding a giant axe and a giant spear in both hands as he stares directly at you. And before you could even work up a voice to talk, a dagger comes up to your throat as a much tinier, by comparison, elven figure stands just off to the side from the shadow, poking a dagger out and catching your throat. And she immediately says, "Who are you?"
My name is Voct. I am a Grey Warden here to investigate the deep roads. In case there is a possible blight. May I ask your name?
Go ahead and roll deception.
Can I give the help action?
No, you're too far in the back.
Ah, damn.
What are they talking about?
That is a 23.
23. Okay. She gleams your armor, clearly Grey Warden sigils, and sees that you weren't cut or anything. So I've made it this far. Clearly you have training and expertise in this matter. So she lowers her dagger and, like, covered in a hood, face mask, and fully covered. You can't quite make out, like, who she is. You can barely see her ears, kind of showcasing the elfin heritage. But she stands down and says, you may call me Talus.
Talus. I relax a little bit when she moves the dagger, but I'm still like, I had my sword out already. I don't put it away quite yet. I do lower it a little bit. And your very impressive friend, may I know their name as well?
He is Sten. It is not our names, it are our titles. So
a pleasure to meet both of you. Apologize for sneaking up on you as we attempted to do.
It's fine. Anyone here tracking Darkspawn and Venatori stealth would be the strategy. Sten here, unfortunately, is just not very good at it. And yeah, you can kind of see big 7'5"
big metal plate. Yeah,
it's like the stealth's not and he just shrugs wordlessly as he just cleans off, he swings his axe to clean off some blood off of it and
the stealth is not stealthing.
So it's like you can clearly see that she's the stealth and usually the scout, while he's just coming in for when stealth doesn't work. But yeah, you see these two individuals here standing tall and short. But it's like, so I take it, so you're investigating a blight.
Just the possibility of it. There has not been one for quite some time, but
20 years by my count.
whenever there's a new ingress to the deep roads, it's always best to double check just to make sure.
Wonderful. Love to see the Grey Wardens. We respect your order, of course. If anything, if we should ever take over Thedas, we'd probably still allow you to exist. We respect what you do.
I do appreciate that. Do you have any numbers? Obviously, I see many slain around you, but has there been any force of Darkspawn that you've noticed that would cause you extra concern than just the deep roads themselves?
Well, we were hoping that with the noise our other party guests are making, that they would attract more into their main tunnel and we could possibly escape by on these side tunnels. Unfortunately, we've ran into quite a number ourselves, and it's not been fast as we would hope. But
While they're speaking, can I peek from the tunnel and try to make an insight roll about their kind of like intentions? Like, are they humoring Vakt and are kind of like going to kill him, or are they actually want to converse with us?
If the three of you want, you can come push out into this opening. It's a space about 20 by 20. It's not very big, but like enough for this battle that's taking place. But yeah, if you three want to push out, if you guys want to try and take cover, that's free too. But John, I imagine you'll push out. And yeah, go ahead and give me your insight check.
Let's see. That is a 2 for a total of 6.
2 with a total of 6.
Impressive.
Thank you.
If there was ever a word to describe an entire country of people, an entire just way of life of people, Kunari could truly embody the word stoic. When it comes to just conducting straight business, they know exactly where they need to be to help the whole, and they don't deviate. They're punched through to that end goal. So honestly, the best you have is that if they wanted Vox dead, when Talus had a dagger to his throat was the best time to do it. The fact that they backed off and moved into the middle of this tunnel or this opening, it seems friendly for now.
Wait, I missed that. Talus as in Talus?
I feel like give me a history check real quick. Let's see how much you know about Kunari.
This is Oren having just
This is
recently
Oren,
played the games.
Yeah.
So
Is that
My
an
3 hours
Easter
of
egg?
playtime could
Ooh.
never.
am I
18.
18? So am I playing as Felicia Day's like special guest appearance character? No, I'm not
Okay.
doing that. But Kunari don't have names unless it's a cover story. They don't use names within their society. Everything in their society is basically about the whole. So having individualistic names takes away from the whole, and so they kind of just don't work with that culture. Their culture is built entirely on what's good for everybody, and they try to constantly work with that in mind. With that, they've dismissed all names. They do have titles, which represents their roles. On an 18, a Talus and a Sten. She introduced her big guy as Sten, and she's a Talus. Sten is essentially a Vanguard soldier. He goes out and tries to handle things directly. He will talk, learn of a society, and bring that back. But he's never going to go through your back door. He's going to go through your front door and be big and imposing and maybe do some mercenary work here and there, but it's all for the end game of scouting, basically. A Talus is essentially a problem solver. You have someone needed to be hunted down and killed. A Talus was probably your best bet, especially at Thedas, as the main continent of Thedas. You have an artifact that needs recovery. A Talus is who you send. Like they're generally one man or small group units that try to move in quietly, do exactly what they're supposed to do, get out just as quietly. You might have heard tale of the Talus that appeared in the famed Champion of Kirkwall's story, but she was very atypical of Talus's and was very loud in what she did, often breaking a lot of Qunari codes along the way. But, ends justify the means with her. But, yeah, you might have heard some. Taluses are generally very skilled people when they do pop up.
Yeah, the Champion of Kirkwall's story is very frowned upon in Valrayo.
Yeah, probably. There was a moment where Divine Justinia would have wanted the champion as the leader of the Inquisition. That almost happened. They just couldn't find him because of Varric. But anyways, sidetrack. Moving on. What were we talking about?
We weren't specifically talking about anything, mostly just that they weren't going to kill us.
Yeah. I was saying, like, me or Talus and you had a conversation before.
Would I know any of that history about, like, the titles of Talus and stuff?
Give me advantage history, because you are Qunari. You are Bashath, but nonetheless.
17.
17. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're Tal Bashath, right?
I believe so.
You were, like, formerly a Qunari, and then you transferred to being a...
Yeah, so I don't know how much of my backstory we actually talked about, but I was going
I remember you mentioning you were former Qunari, and then you left that life behind and became a Templar.
Yes.
And then I guess you left that life behind and become Grey Warden. This is getting more interesting now that I think about it, but...
There's a something I forgot about describing my character. There was a specific type of... Because, like, the Qunari don't have, like, romantic relationships, but very, very rarely do they. So that was what my backstory was going to be. Was like I had formed a romantic relationship, and we were both outcast. So that like, I was going to have it's some sort of symbol that they exchange, and I can't remember what it is offhand. But like that was part of my description of my character. But yeah, I was Tal Vashoth, and then I became the Templar, and then the Grey Warden.
All right, that's really cool. But yeah, so you would know about the titles. And with the 17, yeah, honestly, a Sten and a Talus working together is a little weird. Like the Sten is very much the straightforward, whereas Talus is through the back door. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a bit of an unbalanced party here. But it's like you also know that if you need something done, like if something has to happen fast, like you have to act on information fast. Sometimes you'll just grab who you can. And so you can kind of tell these two were slapped together real quick. They aren't a long-standing pairing that happens all the time.
If I may be so bold, is there a specific reason why you are both down here? Perhaps we could temporarily align ourselves together to both achieve our goals and get out of here without further bloodshed on our own parts.
Orko Tal Vashoth, like you, is unorthodox, but strange times.
Strange times indeed.
For now, though, my Sten here will take up the back row. I'll continue to scout if you're okay with that. I'd rather... If I am to be stabbed in the back, I'd like to know Sten will follow up and crush you.
That is fair enough.
Torin at this point will step out of the shadows and be like, well, glad to see we're all friends now. Can we move forward and get away from the other group before they alert Darkspawn to our presence, please?
Yes, sound advice, Torin.
Yeah, let's get going, mate.
Okay. So, all right. Let's see. Quick deceptions. Quick. All right. Okay. Roll an insight check, Vogt.
Before Vakt is doing the insight check, I will come step forward to Vakt and hold your here and be like, tread lightly, and I will give you bardic inspiration.
Ooh. What D is that? 1.
D6?
I think it's a 6.
D6? Okay.
No, sorry, I'm level 5. This is 1d8.
Ooh, okay.
You read the D8s already.
Okay. Insight. That is a 21.
21. So, with that, so you know that you can trust them as long as your goals sort of align.
Okay.
But if you were on the surface, they would likely prefer you dead. And honestly, if this was the surface, they might stab you in the back and kill you real quick. It'd be quick. But because this is they can't afford to keep fighting. They're already fighting a lot already. They can't, and you seem like you're not mindless darkspawn. Fighting off a horde, it's tiresome, but it can be done.
Yeah.
But fighting off people is a risk that they don't want to afford to take right now. They have a more pressing matter of a goal right now, so you can trust them for now.
Okay.
But just know if it's ever a safe scenario, they might stab you.
Okay. In that instance, I think Tal said she was gonna lead. I think I would motion to Torn to follow behind her, and then I would be in the middle, so I can keep an eye on Sten.
Yeah, Sten wants last, so
Yeah. I'm not gonna argue. He can go last, but I want to be closer towards Sten, just so I can keep an eye on both of them, and then everybody in my party is in my aura.
all right. Fair enough.
I'm staying well away from both of these people.
Yeah. Kaylin, give me a good history roll real quick. Let's see how much you know about Canary and how they treat mages.
What's my history? 17.
17. Yeah, if they find out you're a mage and it's not so peaceful a scenario, you're pretty sure they might overlook you. But at the same time, you've heard tales of how Kunari mages are often bound and shackled and mouths sewn shut, eyes sewn shut. It's a terrible... Of all the places to be a mage, no one ever wants to go to the homeland of the Kunari and be a mage. It's not a good time. There's no upside. It's terrible. So it's that's usually the worst treatment.
I'm going to sort of lean on my staff as if it's like a walking stick. No other reason I got this, Just
you wouldn't deprive an old man of their walking stick, surely.
You wouldn't deprive a young 20-year-old of his walking stick.
The circles might have felt like a prison at some point, but your body was still free, and that's the plus compared to the Canary treatment. Yep. So it's Well, what circle on the side of caution, but for now, it seems based on Vox's reaction, like a Canari's reaction to the other Canary, it's you can be comfortable, but know that follow Vox's lead probably.
Yeah, I'm keeping
I think also a good thing to remind us, and I will do this with message to my companions, that if we need help, and that mage back there catches up to us, we can try to persuade these guys to try to deal with him, help us deal with him too.
I'm still not comfortable with telepathic communication, so I hold it down, but I just look over my shoulder at Jean, and also quick note, I don't have auras that's level 6, not level 5, so the spacing doesn't matter for that.
Would you like to take the back then, or stay in the middle?
I'm still going to stay in the middle, just so I can keep an eye on both of them.
Okay.
As I receive that message, question rule-wise, can you respond to a message, or is it just you receive
Pretty
it?
sh- I'm pretty sure message is something you respond to. Like,
I think you can respond to sending.
realizing
I'm
right
not sure
now
about
I've never used it.
message.
You can respond to sending. I don't think you can respond to message.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Quick, everybody, Google.
20 period target has a message and can reply in a whisper.
Okay.
All right. I
The
will-
target and only the target hears it.
Yeah, only
But
I
you have
hear
to say
it.
this.
So I would reply back. I thought they were with the party previous, because they said that something along the lines of that was other members of their party and they weren't bringing enough. So I'm worried that if we have to pit them against each other, they're already in cahoots.
I don't know. I didn't. I don't know if that was like a mishearing from me. I didn't.
It could have been. I just wanted to confirm.
I would have made it clear that it's now 3 separate groups acting in this tunnel.
Okay.
The Benetari, the Canary, and you. So it's like the Canary made it clear that this is a happenstance scenario in which they're using the other ones as a distraction.
They're doing the same thing we are.
They're doing the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Never
Told you it
mind.
was a good plan.
Yes.
Sweet.
Just a little bit lower drop. Also important to note, the Venatori wanting the perfect Tevinter and everything. Venatori and the Canary have been at war for centuries, and it hasn't it's been ongoing. Canary hate mages, the number 1 mage country in the world. It was never going to be, and they're also right next to each other with only one major island, and that major island is basically where all the war happens. But they're constantly trying to kill each other and find other ways to make it. So if you ever saw Canary working with Tevinter, it is dire times happening, whatever is happening there.
Fair enough.
So just to throw that out there.
All right. So Talus is in the lead.
Talus is leading. You're not you. Torin is right behind. And then you. And then Jean and Kaylin. And Sten. Who's honestly, you're shocked he's made it this far. He's so big. How'd he squeeze past the tunnel?
I was going to mention that.
Also, I think that if I'm standing behind Kalen, it is better because I have alerts, and if he tries to stab me and surprise me, he can't.
I was gonna try and do that in game, but that's fine. We'll just do that.
Sure.
Take you rolled an insight earlier. You get with that small amount of insight, you imagine now that Sten is standing next to you, he doesn't need surprise.
Yes.
Like he's wielding a great axe and a spear with both hands, and they look like one-handed weapons in his hands. Like if it'd be a 2-handed weapon for you, it's a one-handed weapon for him, and he's dual wielding, and both are clearly in use. So it's like it's not him packing one for a rainy day. This is him.
He will
smashing
ask
down
me
with
to
both.
face him when he strikes me down.
Weirdly enough, you haven't heard a word from him. He hasn't said a single word.
Torin feels very fortunate being in the front and not near the giant meat cleaver behind him.
You traded in seeing the attack coming for not seeing the attack coming, as you're right behind Talus, and even with your great talents of perception, Talus disappears from view for a second here, a second there, is closer 1 second, a bit further away. The nimbleness in which she dances through these ruins is awe-inspiring, honestly. Probably the best here at walking through. Maybe not as versatile as you, but definitely more agile. Okay.
That's mildly terrifying.
So this is how the rest of the party sees us then.
Yeah, pretty much. She's
I try to jump in and out like she is, phasing in and out, but all I end up doing is tripping.
I haven't rolled stealth yet. This will be the next stealth check for this. So,
All right, I have to ask, is Pass Without a Trace still active for us?
this time, no. Pass the trace. It will have been an hour. Detect thoughts would have worn off right before meeting these two. Pass Without a Trace runs out here. you are heading through the next tunnel. You don't quite hear any fighting. The fighting is still kind of like off into the side, but like a little bit further away.
What pace is Talus leading us at?
You glean the idea that she'll match your pace,
Okay.
and like she's gonna pretty much like disappear in and out if she thinks she needs to. She's scouting ahead very cleanly, and instead is just moving at a walking pace. He's not going fast, and yeah. So if you want to roll a perception, go ahead and give me a perception bot.
Sure.
As the one in the middle of the group.
That is only an 8.
Okay, you don't notice much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're trying to like size up to the other one, but you're clearly the shorter Canary here.
Oh yeah.
But like most Canary are average around 6 feet. You're a little shorter for the average, and so he's over 7 feet. That's already bigger for a Canary.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is there anything we notice in our passive perceptions?
Passive perceptions.
Is there a way I can elevate myself to get a higher vantage point to scout around?
So with the coming into these next areas, it's kind of back to narrow corridors again. Like this was like a brief little open. Probably It looked more naturally formed, and then like just happened to cut a path through here. But back to narrow corridors and such. So, but she's moving on ahead, and every now and again it does open up again. You can stick to higher paths to try and get that. When you do, give me a perception check if you're sticking to high grounds. But
that's a 7.
7.
Also rocking
Okay.
high rolls here.
All right. She's disappearing from view entirely, and it's only when she says, "Let's head down this path," that you see her, and then she goes through the path ahead of you. And other than that, she disappears entirely. And Jean, what did you ask for again?
Do we notice anything with our passive perceptions?
Oh yeah. What's your passive?
Mine is 12.
12. No, it's too dark to really pick up on much. You can only briefly see Talus, even less. And whenever she's like, "Hey, we're heading down this tunnel," and then it's like, with passive perceptions alone, that she's not leading you toward the fighting, but it's not getting quieter either. It's like you're maintaining a set distance, and so the path she's leading is like you're very clearly, both you and the fighting group are heading toward the same location, but yours is just not fighting at all. It's quiet. It's very quiet. Yeah, that's she's for sure not leading you into an ambush for now, but that's the best you can kind of glean
for now.
Kaylin, I'll let you do a passive. What's your passive perception if you haven't?
Let's have a look. Passive perception 14.
14. So I think that's you kind of glean the same ideas. The big guy right behind you is a bit nerve wracking, but you get the similar information of.
Yeah, I'm keeping Jean's nice, and there's a nice buffer there
Right.
behind me. I don't want to be dealing with that.
Yeah, so it's pushing on ahead and doing your best not to look at him in the eye.
Not to seem too magey.
You don't think he's trying to be intimidating. It's just the natural intimidation from being who he is. And honestly, you could tell he wields it well. But for now, yeah, you push forward. Following, I'm going to need a last stealth roll. There's no pass without a trace unless you can recast it.
That is up to you
So-
guys. If we're going to rush this and we're going to do this at disadvantage, I will cast it. But if we're not, I'd rather save it.
I think we're just kind of moving at a lower pace right now anyways.
Okay.
Me and Sten are going to be at disadvantage, but I think everybody else should be able to hopefully counterbalance that. So I think...
Are we getting any benefits from Talus leading us in terms of stealth?
So for this one, I will basically take away the 2 lowest rolls and not even consider them. It'll just be the 2 highest.
I'm going to use a lucky point.
19.
Okay.
That's much better. 23.
I am
12.
also going to use a lucky point.
Oh, we're all lucky.
Am I the only one that didn't take lucky? Damn it!
Lords of
That's worse,
Fortune
never
got
mind.
lucky for free.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the 2 canon Lords of Fortune characters had been mostly like thieves by nature. Well, one was a thief, the other one is famous for being a dragon slayer, but for sure they both used a lot of explosives in very insane scenarios. So I'm like, there's got to be a luck thing here going on with these
Yeah,
guys.
that sounds about right.
Like the one that she's being introduced in the new game, she was introduced as like, I gotta kill this dragon. I strap a 100-pound bomb to my back, hop on the back of this dragon, wrap it around its neck, and blow it up, and fall to the ocean for safety. I'm like, there's a luck feat for you two. I don't know what to do here. How do I quantify that?
Is there a ultimate badass feat? Let's see.
You call that a poor man's fireball.
All right, Kaylin, what was your?
That was a
Stealth.
12.
Hey,
lucky.
12 gang. Pew pew.
All right, so I'm only considering the 19 and 23 with Talus leading the way. Okay, and then yeah, she has to also spend time making sure Sten doesn't get noticed. He's not caring about stuff; he's just walking. But
I feel so quiet next to him.
yeah, honestly, you kind of do.
I just have like a
But-
little from my chain shirt. He's got full plate.
Yeah, he's like,
Every yeah, like his armor is sculpted around his muscles, and all the individual pieces to pull that off are clearly just going shake, shake, shake. Yeah, exactly. That was great. Honestly, great noise there, Oren. Thank you.
We'll hire you for Foley for this video, Oren.
voiceover acting career starting now.
Okay, gotta start somewhere. Highlight reel. Anyways. But pushing forward, you guys said you're going at a fast pace or slow pace? Did you want normal?
I think just normal.
I think it's
Okay.
at Sten's pace, technically. Because
Technically,
he's
yes.
the one
Yes.
that's just walking.
Yep. So normal pace, pushing forward. You eventually, like the fighting stays very exact. Like you can high to tell it's like pushing, like whoever they are pushing through a tunnel and keeping pace with you, but it's like slowing down in certain locations and starting to fall behind a little bit. But as you get to a vast opening, Torin, you would kind of notice this right away. This doesn't feel very dwarven made. It feels like a little bit on the surface elven for some reason. And within this cave, it's like there's just like some raised structures here and there and some tables, who knows what they were there, long forgotten. But in there are some darkspawn throughout, just kind of like going here, messing with some things, attacking each other, dragging some dead bodies away. Like it's just dead bodies being other darkspawn, nothing really, no humans here that you can tell, nothing living, tainted. But there's about 7 Genlocks and 2 Herlocks, and then at the other end is like just a door that's a bit more elven made, and you're starting to think, like, if you're hunting down an Alluvion, which is known to be an elven artifact, you might be on the right track. But for now, there's about almost 10 darkspawn in the way between you and the tunnel, and Talus spoofs up out of nowhere next to you. It was like, what are you thinking?
Stop doing that. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how many of them there are, and if we can take them or if we should just dip around them.
Well, would be that's if we are to dip around them, we'd have to make some noise in another corner of the room to pull them away from the door.
I have ways of making noise. The question is, will your Sten follow, or will your Sten just go in and attack?
If he can run through, he'll sprint right through and follow us very closely. If the noise is loud enough, they won't even. He'll move quickly and abruptly. It's if he knows the plan. Don't worry about him. He follows instructions well.
All right.
Are those genlocks or there are herlocks as well?
There's mostly genlocks. You see one herlock who's kind of more of in a full armor plating, but it's not like a clean plate mail. It's very much patchwork plate mail that's grabbed from all sorts of pieces, but it is fully covered. Giant horns sticking out of the helmet honestly makes him look fierce, but you can tell the horns are decorative at best.
I think we can take them. They are weak.
Yeah, we got this.
The less darkspawn in the world, the better.
Very Grey Warden of you.
I'll be honest, I looked them up on image search to remind myself what they look like. It's been so long. I'm like, oh, it's those guys, and it's those guys. Okay.
Yeah, sunken flesh, decay, almost on the verge of total decay, but somehow still operating in a constructive way? Mostly destructive way.
Great smiles,
Yeah.
though. All those teeth, no
Oh yeah,
lips.
they're beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I had a lot of good dental work before they died, clearly. And I guess that's just going to be my MO. I'm going to look for a high point to get advantage on Darkspawn so I can get a good shot on them for what appears to be the incoming battle.
Okay, so we're going with the combat here. So,
I will say I do have explosives if we want to create a diversion and then run through them. I don't know how many there are. Seems like about 8 maybe, but could be some hiding in some of those houses too.
looks like that's rejected. No, it's like your friends seem to be pushing more toward clearing out an exit. Can't disagree with that too badly.
Oh, yeah, no, I think in this instance, the distraction would be more detrimental in the long term. If we're going to try and blow something up, I think that's just going to draw more towards us. It might distract this immediate group, but I think it's going to pull more towards this area.
Making sure to keep your escape clean. All right.
I don't disagree.
She's like, all right, well, in that case, me and Sten will take care of this small group in this corner. She points to the Herlock as well as like 4 Genlocks. If you can just handle the rest, and that is going to be 7 Genlocks for each of you. Or not each, sorry.
So that's
7
a lot.
Genlocks. 7 Genlocks as a group.
Damn.
That's it.
Okay.
If all of you get it down in one round of action, or depending on how many rounds, we'll see what consequences may pay from this expo. But I'm not going to ask for an initiative. This is going to be your surprise round, quote unquote. And then after that, we'll get an initiative roll. So you've caught them all unawares. So if you have any advantages that gain from that state, then I don't think any of your classes do, but for now.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm a clanky
Didn't think
paladin,
so.
so.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just my first round of combat. I get bonuses. So would that
Yeah,
apply
sure.
to the surprise round or actual round 1? Is I guess my only question.
Depending on how this goes, possibly both, but for now, definitely surprise.
Okay.
So you definitely have I know you got Gloomstalker stuff, so go ahead and Gloomstalker away
No
on
worries.
this.
I would defer to the melee first because I figure if I want them to get a little further in before I start taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I
You
figured
take-
I would probably take point. Everybody else in the party seems to be ranged, and then a bard, which can kind of go either way. So I would move up as much as you'll let me. If you'll let me get up into melee range, I'll start doing that. I do also have javelins I could throw. If you want me to do that as the surprise round.
You're free to tackle this how you want. Just know that, like, if you don't kill all 7, you're the one in the front. So
Yeah, that's
that's
fine.
just like you get you understand the disadvantages of being in the front.
Yeah.
So
Then yeah, I'll move up and I'll just start laying in my great sword. I'm not. Everybody knows I'm a Grey Warden, so yeah, I'll like activate my Flame Tongue and start like slicing them with my Flaming Blade. So I had 2 attacks. Do you want me to roll for them, or how do you want to like actually do combat?
Yeah. For the surprise round, it'll be just regular. So go ahead and roll both attacks, and then see if they hit.
With advantage because they're surprised.
I believe rogues are the only ones that get that. They get advantage on surprise, but you are a Grey Warden. Go ahead. I'm not going to worry too much about rules right now. This is a perfect scenario of ambush for you guys. You guys have done perfect stealth this whole time. I got to reward this now.
Okay.
Everyone gets advantage on their attack rolls for the surprise round.
21 on
Not
the
even
first
gonna get
attack,
21.
and then a dirty 20 on the second attack.
Okay. 30, 20. So both hit.
The flame is an additional 2d6, so 46 plus 4. 20 damage on the first attack.
20 damage on the first. How much of that is fire?
Oh, I did not roll that separately. I just rolled 4 dice at the same time. Sorry.
No, you're good. Give me the 2 middle rolls as your fire damage.
A 3 and a 5 then, so 8.
8, so that'd be 16.
Yeah,
So
so
with
16,
the first attack,
20 damage total. Okay.
With the first attack, you easily kill one.
Okay.
And with one stroke.
Then the second attack, do you want to re-roll it?
Was that all, total damage was 20?
That was total damage was 20, yeah, on the first attack.
Okay. So then with both of those combined, give me 2d4, and that's how much damage will carry over to another one. So you definitely wiped out one of them.
5.
5. So 5. Yeah, so with the first one, it easily cleaved right through, and then you continue the momentum and slice into a second one. Doesn't quite get through, but he's clearly like on his death throes.
Okay.
Follow up from someone?
Sorry. I did roll 2 attacks separately.
Okay.
I just rolled the 20 damage was from 1 attack.
Okay,
Sorry.
so it was 1 attack.
Yes.
Okay. So, you killed one.
Okay.
The second attack is going to another one. It also hits.
Okay.
So roll damage for that
I
one.
will roll red dice for fire damage, because that makes sense.
Yeah, because fire damage does double damage against Darkspawn, as a reminder to everyone.
I'm glad I did that then. So the fire damage is 11.
11 double to 22.
Yeah, and then an additional 11 regular slashing damage.
Additional 11 regular slashing. So that, the first Nidlock went down, and then the second one, you cleave straight through too with your flame tongue sword. And it's a sight to behold, honestly. As very cleanly, quickly, 2 down, and the others are like, what? And before they even have a chance to really understand what's going on, what's the follow-up? He's following up on that. So 2 out of 5 are dead. Or 2 out of 7 are dead. 5 left.
I'll take a swing at one with my dagger.
Okay. Swing, bada. Swing.
Okay, so help me understand how I'm doing this, because there's a lot of... so there's 1d4 plus 3, and then there's a plus 6 here. So what do I add to the attack?
1d4 plus 3. You are... So, is this a plus 2 dagger?
Yeah.
So, it's going to be the d20 plus your dex modifier plus 2.
Okay, dex. Where is it?
And your proficiency bonus too.
Oh, yeah. Proficiency bonus.
And that'd be a plus 3.
So 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus whatever your dex is, which...
It's plus 0. I don't have
Okay.
a... Okay.
So D20 plus 5.
D20 plus 5. Okay.
This is showing in D&D Beyond as plus 6.
Okay. D20
Oh, I'm
plus
just
6.
saying, like, if he's looking at the D20 character sheet, it says plus
That's
6
fine.
on it.
So I rolled a 6 on the D20. So adding plus 6. So 12.
Like 12. All right. You come in behind, hoping to grab the surprise factor oh, yeah, advantage. I did say advantage.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's getting advantage because you guys have just rolled beautifully on stealth this whole time.
Okay, so 12 on the die plus 6, 18.
18.
A little
18
better.
hits. That one hits perfectly, exactly what you needed, actually. Go ahead and roll damage, which is the 1d6
1d4. 1d4 plus
1d4
3. Yeah,
plus
that's
3.
the damage.
Okay.
Okay, so 1d4. Where's my d4? There it is. 1d4 plus 3. 3 plus 3, 6.
6.
And that's the damage?
Okay. So
I
with
think
that,
so.
you come running in right up next to him, stab one right in the chest. He doesn't go down, but it's like he's still shocked as to like what the heck is happening. But like the suddenness that is happening, it's like he doesn't quite go down. It's a bit burlier than the ones he fought outside. It seems like the further you get down to the deep roads, the tougher you got to be to survive. And these Genlock are showing it, as he's still surprised for now, but like you can tell he's getting mad. Do you have any other bonus action or?
Bonus action, I can give someone bardic inspiration. And also I have unsettling words,
Okay.
which uses an inspiration die, but I think I'll keep it. I'll
Okay.
save it for now.
Okay, so that goes to Torin or Kaylin. Whoever wants to step up first. There's 4, and 1 weakened one.
I think I'll go last.
Torin's
good with
gonna.
that.
You want to go last?
Yeah, I'll go last.
Okay, so I do want to ask before proceeding with anything. What about the other two? Are they doing anything? You got Stan walking, and you got.
They separated out a group of 5 or
Right,
4 Genlock
right,
and the
thank you.
Herlock.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in that case, I will take aim, and this will be my first time using these feats, so I just got to make sure I've got my head on straight.
Yeah, that surprise round of a Gloomstalker Ranger. Here it comes.
I don't have the assassin part, because that would be like the way that gets us enhanced, but I have crossbow expert and sharpshooter, so attacking at long range doesn't impose disadvantage on me at all, and there's no cover for me, and I can take a -5 penalty and add +10 to my attack or damage, which is crazy, but mostly
Sharpshooter. Love it.
I want to use Dread Ambusher, so +2 to my initiative roll. I move 10 feet faster on my first turn, and I get an extra d8 damage on a hit. Plus, I get an extra weapon attack as part of my action, so I can shoot 3 times instead of 2.
Dang.
Just covering all that. I've never played a ranger before. This is crazy to me.
Nah, Gloomstalker's if you want pure damage on a ranger, Gloomstalker's the route to go.
Yeah.
And that
I
first
shouldn't name
turn
my
of
ranger
combat,
Gloomstalker.
just,
All right, and you said advantage on attacks.
it is all advantaged.
All right,
For
first
the
shot,
surprise round.
crossbow, and I'm using my fire bolts because we got to get this out quick.
Okay.
That is 11 plus 7, so 18 on my first roll.
18. That's 18 hits.
Yes, cool. And
Yeah.
then my damage is a d6 plus an additional d8. Which one are you? Where are you at? There you go. D8. And I'm using fire bolts, which means I get 2d4 since it's a dark spawn. Right? Just confirming that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So ready.
7 fire damage,
7,
and then 4 piercing damage.
4. So
First
that's
shot.
11. Okay. It's 11 to hit. That does take out 1.
Beautiful. I take aim at the furthest one away, the one that's hardest to hit for all of us.
Okay.
17,
17 misses.
and then with a
Oh.
bonus action, I just realized I have a +1, so it actually should be 18. I've only been adding 7.
Convenient, but I'll take it.
I just realized that. I'm like, oh, it's a +1. So if you want me to miss, I'm totally fine shooting again.
No.
Just
I'm taking
recognize
it.
that.
Let's go. We hit it.
Now I feel bad. I'm not trying to be convenient.
Nah.
We got 4 fire damage and 9 piercing damage.
So that's 2 dead.
Right, and then bonus
Third
action, crossbow. This one does not get a +1. It's got to be in my offhand.
Good.
As Brian Murphy says, you honor the cock.
Eh.
Oh, that is definitely not the one, but that's still a 22.
22 hits.
Yeah. Firebolt, 6 fire damage, and 7 piercing.
7 piercing. So firebolt. So that's 3 dead. So I said you had 7 total. That's 2 for Cody, 3 for you, half of 1 for Oren. All right. So that's 5.5. So that's 1.5 left.
Finish it up, Kellen.
yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, the fireball.
That will nail you two, because you're right next to one of them.
They'll be fine. No, I'm gonna go with Scorching Ray, I think.
Okay.
Just regular second level Scorching Ray, so that's gonna be 3 attacks, I think.
Okay.
The 2 on the one that's still that's unharmed, and then 1 on the half dead one.
Alrighty.
That's
Good plan. Good plan.
that's 7, 9, 15. So adding what do I add to that again? 8. That's 15 and 17 for the one that's fine, and then 20 for the one that's hurt.
Okay. 15 and 17 miss. 20 hits.
Cool.
So you fire 2, miss the one barely manages to understand what's happening and steps aside and barely dodges. But the one that's being pinned by Jean over here.
Why are you taking my kill and not killing your own?
Should have finished it off, mate. That's gonna be 9 points of fire damage.
9 points of fire damage. All right. Streak of flame flying right past your face, John, as it pierces right through the face of the Genlock that was just about to yell in your face and falls over. Last one standing, managing to survive this one round of combat. I'm not going to play out this combat because I think I know how it's going to go. But it does get a shriek off. Just a louder. As it just and before quickly being followed up on by a...
Can I silvery barbs that?
It's not... So what it is just yelling a warning. So it's not a dice roll.
Okay.
But let's see. I'm going to roll... Does this thing even have a persuasion? No. It's just going to roll charisma. And I'm going to tell you what the roll is. You can decide if you want to silvery barbs it. It does have a -2 to charisma. So depending on how good its charisma is, how much of a consequence you might face from this roll. But I got a 17 down to a 15. So if you want to delete the 15 or you want to face the consequence of whatever the 15 is.
I think try and shut it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
So silvery barbs?
Yeah.
Okay. That is an 11 down to a 9. So it just was about to go when you managed to just get your dagger into its throat.
Look him like that.
Yeah, you just shut it down.
Try to yeah.
Project your spirit out. Your whatever. It just projected out and it just shuts it down, and then Vox very quickly gets the follow up. You turn to... I'm gonna hit you with this one though, where you turn to the others, trying to see where they're at with theirs, because there was 2 against 5. Very quietly, all 5 are dead now, and the door leading into the next room is already open. They've left you behind. But
oh no!
So there's that. Okay. So
They
if
killed them quicker.
I did roll for them, and yeah, they nailed some gnarly rolls. But
I'll extinguish my sword and put it away. I won't put it away. I'll extinguish though, in the hopes that maybe they didn't see that since they were too busy doing their own thing. Because now I don't trust them. I mean, I already didn't trust them, but now I'm more leery of them. So hoping I can try and keep some sort of surprise in my back pocket if we do have to fight. And then we'll perhaps we should carry on after our wayward compatriots, as it were.
All right, so passive perceptions, we have 14, that one there. So I assume you guys are all going to move in and try to catch up to them wherever they went.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Down the elven door.
Yes.
So, Torin, what's your passive perception? That's probably higher than most.
It's a big fat 12, actually.
Okay, it's 14 is still the highest. Vogt, what was yours?
Also 12.
Okay, a lot of 12s. So 14 is still the highest. On the 14, the sound of fighting off in the distance from what you imagine is the mage party, whoever they are. Well, it's Venatori, but who's to say? They are getting closer, but it's not a quick pace. They're fighting too much and attracting attention, and they're making progress, but it's a distance behind.
Gotcha.
So, pushing forward into the next room, you come across what you know is your goal. Like, none of you have really seen an Illuvion before, but like all you know, giant elven mirror is like the basic description. And this is a giant mirror, and it is elven. And it's not glowing, so you think it looks like just a cement slab, honestly, with like a mirror on it, but it's like as far as you can tell, no glowing. You can't even feel magic off it. No Arcana check needed. And it's there. What's distracting you from it, though, is that the two that ran ahead of you are now facing off against the most distracting thing in the room. A giant monster of a creature. It looks like if a tree grabbed other trees and formed a quadruped insect of some sort, and it's like massive in size. It has tree trunk like legs, and like the stand is trying its best to like fight him. It's a sight to see someone that huge get overpowered, as it's clearly like pushing them aside. The Talus is very quickly dancing around it, but can only do so much with like pecking attacks at this point. With like because it's propped up on these tree trunk like legs, she can't get to the main body that's like about 10 feet high. As it's just right when you enter, it unleashes a huge roar. I need all of you to make either Constitution. No, it's Constitution saving throws.
I have +0 to Constitution saving throws.
I'm
Here
gonna
we
use.
go, baby.
I'm gonna use a lucky point on that.
I rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
You got
What
one
was
more
that?
lucky, right?
Yes,
You do have
yes,
one
I do
luck left.
actually.
Honestly,
I do actually have one more lucky.
Hang
That's a
on
good
one
point.
second
I'll use
before
that
we.
too.
I want to. There's something I wanted to look at to see if I can use it in this instance, but I want to make sure it's.
It's a 3 instead of a 1.
Hey.
Intelligence, wisdom, save, charisma. Never mind that. Okay.
Lucky.
That doesn't. You said Constitution, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not going to do anything.
Okay, that's better. 15 for Torin.
15 for Torin.
19 after a lucky point.
19?
17 for Vogt.
17.
Oh no.
3. Okay. The three of you, excluding Jean for a moment, you hear this roar and you see it coming and you brace yourself for like, you could see the shockwave kind of come out of it as it just shakes the very foundation of the room itself as and like weather the storm. But the three of you also notice Jean, who didn't quite have time to like brace themselves, gets caught up and just like frozen in fear for a second. Jean, you're stunned for a round.
Okay.
But
Damn.
as for the other two, you notice that Talus also gets stunned and then immediately smacked aside and gets launched across the room. Sten, on the other hand, did manage to just brace himself and is now just like trying to doing his best to just stand there. He's not gonna run. You can see he's picked his spot.
Does Talus look alive?
A little buried in rubble. You'd have to get up close to her to try to figure that out.
We'll check her in a second. We got a stick bug to deal with right now, apparently.
Yeah, I think seeing
Well,
that
statement, mate.
go off like that, I would start moving towards it. Seeing that it is some sort of tree, I would reignite my blade.
Okay. I'm not going to go for an initiative order here. I'm just going to act on failures. So whatever you guys do, if you fail, know something's going to come back at you. But
What's the name of the tree? Do you remember? The name of the
I'll let you all give me one history or a nature check, because
Okay.
or religion could technically get you something here.
Oh, religion, you say? Well, history it is.
Nice.
I was like, I'm a paladin. Oh wait, that's intelligence. Never mind.
Yeah,
All right.
10
it's like
nature.
10 nature.
11,
16 for history.
11 history.
10, 16,
I got a 17 history.
11, 17. Okay, on this 10 and 11, giant tree monster is bad, and it's like this thing feels hugely powerful compared to other things with your nature check. Like if this was just free to roam a forest, you imagine no other predator would roam that forest. They'd all want to stay away. On the history checks, which was 17, I believe, and 16?
Yes.
16 for me.
11
Okay.
for me.
So, that was also history? Okay, so on 11, it matches so many different legends of giant monsters that, like, nature spirits perhaps, but with the 17 and the 16, you two understand this creature is an elven legend that honestly many kind of dismiss as being real, as no one really knows anything about them, but aside from the fact that they were probably created by ancient elves, and they were created to protect areas of great importance, often from dragons. These things are meant to fight dragons. They're called the peril, and they are nature-made living. And what their true origin is, that tale has been lost to time. No modern elf could ever make a creature, and they don't even know if they make more of themselves. But often around elven ruins, you can sometimes find them. They're so stalwart in their defense of an area that even after the kingdoms have long since fallen, you might still find a Vartarl defending the territory it was meant to protect.
Okay.
And this is one of those times, as you now realize the elven nature of these ruins in this deep roads is a bit more purposeful than you might have expected. Like, it's not just elves who worked with dwarves one day. No, an elf put this here. But what that is, maybe it's the Alluvion, maybe it's something else. But for now, that loud shriek has alerted probably something off in the distance, and you have an issue to take care of as combat begins here. We'll take an initiative order real quick.
Right.
Go ahead, everyone, roll initiative.
Woo! $21. But I'm
21?
stunned, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, you first-
That's going to be an
just means
outstanding 4 from me.
Ooh, I'm not
4.
last. All right.
16 for Torin.
16,
11.
11.
That alert feat was really pulling the weight on that 11 initiative for me.
Oh, man. Okay, so Gene, you get stunned for the full round and can't really pull off much, but you're back to being able to move again, so you do have reactions back. But just know that your first round is skipped. Moving on to Sten.
Hendrik, real quick.
Yes.
What, and this might go preceding a little bit. Would I know anything about the effects of an Alluvion might have on a person, just being in its presence?
Being in its presence. So an Alluvion, there's a lot that's more unknown about this artifact. You know that it is a connection to the crossroads that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But an Alluvion, it's the magic around it is strange. You've heard tale of people getting the taint from an Alluvion that has itself been tainted, which is extremely weird because the taint can only affect living things. So But again, we don't know much about Illuvion, so how can an inanimate object be living?
Yeah.
So it's like you've heard tale of some people might have getting the taint from a corrupted Illuvion. How that works, maybe it's fade related because that's where the Darkspawn, the taint is originated. It's hard to tell. So as of now, it is unactivated, and so it is just a glorified mirror.
Okay.
You will also know that Illuvion's activation varies greatly between Illuvions. Some just need a little bit of blood. Others need dramatic rituals. Like, it's almost like everyone created their own key to an Illuvion. And
Okay.
it's a lot of guesswork of just trying to figure out how to open it yourself.
Okay. I will.
But
I have an ability that I was going to use, but I will save that for when we're actually done with this fight and like investigating the mirror itself. Okay. Sorry.
no, all good. So Sten goes up next. He swings around with his spear and his axe and misses on the axe and misses on the spear. Oh man, losing that mystique right away. Okay, Sten, you had so much I tried to give you and you just failed me so fast. On the double failure, the Varteril immediately slows this play. Alright, after that is the Varteril's turn, which is going to be a multi-attack.
Multi-attack? Oh no.
Yeah, it's on our meat shield though. We're fine.
Yeah. It's
Which is-
a
it's
different meat
unfair.
shield, not this meat shield. That one can die.
Right.
So that is 2 attacks in for... That was really low, so that's only 12 damage. That
Really
is
low was
12.
12 damage. Great.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, coming up on... Let's see. Gene. Bot's turn. Cody.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vox.
Oh, sorry. I thought Torn rolled higher than I did.
I got 10 for Torn. Did I get that wrong?
I
16?
got a 16.
That's my bad handwriting. Torn, your turn.
I get it.
That's a 6.
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. So I will go ahead and, typical fashion, try to stay to the further away if possible. This is, if possible, could I scan around and see if there's any other threats approaching us that we're not seeing?
So you can give me a perception check. And I'll give that for free.
That's not going to get me anything. A 9.
Yeah, on a 9, it's hard to make out anything. You can kind of hear that background fighting that's always been there, but it's drowned out now heavily by the giant monster that shrieks in the middle of the room.
All right. So I'll get 2 attacks, and this is the first round of combat here. So I'll get that 3rd extra attack for Dread Ambusher. So
Sounds good.
first attack plus 8 is a 17.
17 misses.
Bang. The second attack's gonna miss at a 16. Third attack, 19.
19 hits.
All right.
I looked this up on image search, and by God, these are terrifying.
Tweet the Varteril.
No.
4 fire damage
4 fire
and
damage.
12 piercing damage.
12 piercing damage. Okay, so that is 16 total.
And
God,
I'll
yeah,
use
it's
my
terrifying.
movement to approach. What's her name? The one that got knocked out.
Talus.
Talus.
Talus. Yeah.
Talus.
And see if I can help in some fashion. But that would effectively be my bonus action and movement.
Yeah. So you approach where Talus kind of got buried in the rubble. With that 9 perception, though, you kind of can't see her right away. You can't tell if she's fully buried or, did her disappearing act again. So it would take an investigation. A higher perception or an investigation, but that's the end of your turn for now. But that puts you kind of far away from where the creature is and the main fighting is as we move on to Vokt this time.
Okay. I'm going to move, if I can, I want to get behind it to try and keep it trapped between me and Sten. He might not be great at fighting, but I'm sure he's great at taking damage.
Damn!
I just saw him miss twice, okay?
It's 10 feet tall with giant tree trunk legs.
He's 7 feet tall.
To be fair, he's got an
like I
axe.
said,
You'd think he'd be good at this.
Yeah. I turned my the flame tongue on, and I'm just going to take 2 attacks on it. Let's see what happens. That is going to be a critical hit,
Okay.
and then a 23 for the second hit.
Okay.
So how do you
23
do
hits.
criticals, my good man?
So in the interest of time, roll normally and we'll double it.
Okay. So 46. I'm also going to put this on a smite.
Yeah, I know how paladins come in with
Hey,
the
this is
crit.
my first time playing a Smaladin? Playing a paladin,
Yeah.
so...
Okay. We've all been paladin critted once or twice before. We're DMs. This has happened to us.
So that adds 2d8 radiant
2d8.
for each. For the normal one, I will cast this at level 2, so it's 3d8.
3d8.
I need to grab my other dice. 1 second.
While Cody is doing the math, do we see any reaction from Sten for the flame tongue?
No. Honestly, he's just... I could ask.
Fire damage too. Beautiful. That's a beautiful roll.
I'm gonna say it now. Like, he has a stoicism naturally to his whole demeanor. He's just caught up in what he's doing. He's missing attacks. He's fire damage in the corner is like whatever.
Alright, so on the plus side, I didn't roll that well. So the fire damage is 7 times 2 times 2 because of the crit.
It's not a dark spawn, so there's no.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So just everything times 2 is going to be...
Yeah, it is made out of wood, but surprisingly,
24 damage times 2, 48.
48. Cool.
And then second attack.
An interesting choice for the elves to create wooden warriors to fight dragons.
I was also wondering about that. Like, I have a fire sword. Second attack is going to be... Oh, I'm sorry, plus 8 more damage on the first attack. I did not add in my regular modifier. Apologies. Second attack is going to be...
You said a 23 earlier, which did hit. Oh, you're rolling damage right now?
Yeah.
Got it.
My numbers stopped making sense. 15 damage.
15.
And that I did add in the additional modifier for that, so that's 15 total.
Okay. So, War Turtle came in looking fierce, and it's only a lot less fierce. So, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I don't have any bonus actions.
All right.
Well, but Branding Smite was my bonus action, I suppose.
Okay. Well, after Vought comes Kalen.
Right.
Now's the time for the fireball?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, even though the fire damage isn't great against it, this looks like a fireballable problem. We're gonna do. Actually, you know what? A strange crimson glow emanates from Kalen's staff as he pulls out the tome he's been flicking through. Glyphs and rituals and all sorts burn red on the page as he flicks through them and finds what he seems to have been looking for. A cry escapes from his mouth as he slams his staff into the ground and spits blood onto the page. He casts Fireball at 5th level.
Okay. Fire away.
I believe that's 10d6, but
10d6.
For 5th
so,
level.
Sten and Vought are right next to him.
I'm gonna be.
I can say this: you're gonna catch one or the other. There's no way
I
to avoid both.
believe I'm an evocation wizard, so I can choose not to hit any of them.
Spell weaving. All right.
Spell scald. All right.
spell sculpt, right? Sculpting.
So Kalen has been hiding a little
5,
secret
10.
from us.
It's
I
a really
told
big
y'all.
and oddly shaped fireball.
Fireball. Fire form.
21.
At the distance I am away, would I be able to see any of this bloodiness going on, or just see him casting a spell and a big explosion?
I would say with such a dramatic showing of spitting the blood, you definitely all of you clock it. That definitely, and just the level of firepower coming out, everything that you might have seen Kaylin do over these past few days journeying together, nothing would have ever equated to this. This is clearly got to be blood magic.
Right. That's going to be 35 points of fire
The big
damage.
reveal.
He spits out the blood
Wow.
and then blows through his staff as if blowing above, or like a fire spitter. An enormous fireball, crimson red, burns out, surrounds the creature. It parts around Sten and Vuct with masterful spell work. As I'll have you know.
Yeah.
I yell back, I see why you didn't appreciate the other wizard's work.
And I believe did we say 3 points of damage per extra level, Hendrik?
For directed back at you yeah.
Cool.
So that's 6 points to you at a 5th level.
Yes.
Assuming
Blood magic. Makes sense.
Yeah. I made it purposely overpowered. It's fine. Not really, but it's fine. He's a wizard. He doesn't have a lot of health.
That's true.
This is dangerous. This is dangerous waters.
But you guys do.
That was extra creepy because right as you were starting to say that, you froze on my screen.
Yes.
So I didn't see you I didn't see you approach the mic and go like this. I just heard this booming voice in my fucking brain.
I cast thaumaturgy.
The same happened to me.
It was
Alright.
very loud. I was not expecting that.
And that's going to be the end of my turn.
By the way, what James just did with the mic is how you received message in your heads.
Oh, it's terrifying.
It's supposed to be a whisper.
Just like a
made
blowout.
it, huh?
Trying to kill Jean.
How to leave Kaylin and John behind.
Alright, following that fireball, how
Things
is this
happen
thing
in the
looking?
deep roads. Okay, after all of that was a lot more damage. A crit from the paladin and 1 level 5 fireball. This thing's went from letting out a huge roar to me. Anyway,
Oh, it's not
as we
die.
circle back to the top of Jean.
So I think, do I see that attacking it would actually be enough to finish it? Is he on death's door?
With your dagger, no, but
Okay.
he's definitely on death. He's not going to survive another round.
Okay, so do we have people who are injured? Except Kaylin.
Hi.
You
Kaylin-
deal with your own injuries.
Look,
Sten's
I'll just
heavily
take some of
injured.
your HP, okay? It's not my problem.
No one has technically found Talus yet, and you saw Talus get smacked across the room and buried in rubble. You see
Just seems like it was that.
Oren looking for him, but yeah.
Well, that's going to be a problem for us
Okay,
later.
so I will relay to you that through message. Is it a free action? Can I do that?
Not with message. You can say it, but message would
Okay,
take an
so
action.
I will say it that I will try to find Talus, and who is next in line after me?
Me.
Did I
There's
already
Stan.
give you bardic inspiration?
I don't think so. I didn't know I had
No,
one.
you've given out one to Bot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
no.
a bardic
Given-
inspiration from.
Okay,
previous-
so I will head towards where Talus is, and I will give you, Richard, bardic inspiration by telling you tread lightly, and then I will see. I will try to see if I can see Talus around. This will be my
Alright.
action.
You can do investigate then, or perception if you want.
My perception is +2. My investigation is +5. So I'll do investigation. That's a 4 + 5. It's 9.
The dice giveth, the dice taketh away.
I don't know if Jean has been giveth anything this round. This game, honestly, it'd be a tough one for you, Jean.
Should have just used blood magic.
The Dragon Age dice hates me.
Hey, no sponsor, no.
No, BioWare, please reach out to us. Your dice
We
are
love to
amazing.
die. We love to die.
It's all Oren's fault somehow.
They hate him for a reason. We're all good.
Yeah, so looking into the rubble with a 9, it's a bit dark. It's a little hidden from the fiery explosions from the cave-in of her getting pounded into the wall. So it's like, can't quite make out if she's underneath the rubble or has she snaked away. Like, she's done so much disappearing acts. Is this another one, or is she in there and you should start digging? I'll leave the choice to you. If you want to start digging, I'll reveal what's in there next round. Yeah.
I'm not gonna start digging. I'm too proud for that.
Fair enough.
Can't dirty my hands.
You stroke. If you have a beard, you stroke it. If you don't, you're just stroking an imaginary beard. As you're just like,
Of course I have a
there.
beard.
Could be not there. But moving on to the next one. Stead is next in the round. He's gonna attack again. That's a miss. Jesus, Stead, just give me one. I've rolled single digits for Stead so far, and it hasn't changed. As the Barterel goes next after Stead's double misses, Barterel is going to go. Okay. So, with the sudden wave of attacks overwhelming the Barterel, as if one last big finale, the Barterel kind of like lets out a secondary shriek directly into the ceiling. And so with that, suddenly a huge like reverberation throughout the room occurs and cave-ins start happening all around. Each of you dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Paladins are famously dexterous.
Oh yeah.
And I have a history of great dexterity saving throws. Okay, so it's a 6 + 3,
Okay.
so 9.
9.
That's a modified 20 for
Okay.
me.
Also a 9.
Modified 20. What's Torin and Bot?
13 for Torin.
I also had a 9.
Okay, 1 save, 3 fails. As Kaylin, you, like, after spitting out the fire and, like, looking up at your glorious handiwork, you see the scream happen straight into the ceiling and, like, can see a crack form right above your head and immediately just, like, dive to the side as rocks just come tumbling down and crush where you would have been standing. The rest of you, on the other hand, like Torin and Jean, you're too busy looking for Talus, and instead the more rubble comes crashing down on top as both of you take 14 damage bludgeoning.
Oh no.
Dang.
And then that's also to you, Vox, who's like trying to fight up and close. You don't quite see what's above the Barterel happening as rubble comes in and 14 damage to you as well.
Okay.
Bludgeoning, that matters. But that moves on to Torin.
Do I get another chance to look around before I take a couple shots at this thing?
You want to take last perception check? Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. 16.
16. 16 is enough to know that Talus is not in the rubble, for sure. They disappeared. And with the 16, you can kind of see a path of like dust and whatnot leading to the Illuvion, but it's like a bit too shrouded in darkness, but you're pretty sure she might have hit there and she's doing something.
I'll look at John before I turn my attention back to the monster, and I'll be like, that way, and I'll point in the direction of the dust that I'm seeing before it's too late. And then I'll take 2 shots at the big, what's it called?
Varterol.
Varterol.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20.
Oh.
All right, roll the damage on that one.
Same thing. Roll once,
Yeah.
double it. Okay.
Yeah.
Might not be very big.
Yeah, I usually try to do a bit more, but we're at 12:53. Gotta close it out.
10 damage. Do you need me
10
to piece
damage.
out the fire damage?
No.
Okay, a 10 damage for double for 20.
Okay. And then second hit,
Is an 18.
18 hits.
Come here, D4. Oh, that is 7 damage.
All right. Describe the kill.
Nice.
Nice.
Realistically, I don't think I'm fully paying attention to what's going on because I'm concerned about the missing figure running off to claim the treasure, so to speak. So I'm looking and I'm guiding Jean, and I offhandedly just take 2 shots. Don't even see that the register that the first shot hits it in such an awful way that it starts to cave in on itself. And the second shot comes in and hits the first one, and it just pierces into whatever this creature has for a heart or brain and pierces it. And you see it just kind of fall to the ground limp.
I want to see this animated so much.
Yeah, like it kind of like stumbles and like tries to let out any last shriek, but all of it comes out. It's just a deathly wail as it slowly just stumbles and then just caves in like center first, and its legs still kind of propped up upwards, and just like slumps down, and like you can see it just it's gone. It's the Sten wipes his blood off and tries to clean up his axes, but like he realizes he never lighted a hit, so there's nothing to clean, and stares at the rest of you, bloodied all to hell, but clearly ready to keep going if he has to. But I have that's the sort of end of combat. We'll see how this goes.
Quickly,
But-
follow me. He'll just walk, so we have to run to get ahead of him.
So yeah, if we're out of combat, I will follow where Toring headed and see if I can find Talus over there.
Okay. Going over there, Sten, you hear Talus say, Sten, I need time. And he immediately like rushes to stand in between you two way because you're the first two to try to dash over. And he is clearly bloodied all to hell, but like he's ready to go if he has to. And
Stan, she's manipulating you.
wordlessly looks at you. Just
Can't
shrug.
I try to deceive him somehow?
You're gonna need a better argument than his boss is trying to manipulate him.
That's every boss. They're all manipulating you.
This is the Canary
Right?
world. This is Canary. The hierarchy in Canary matters a lot
This is a new
more.
sword.
Like, because everything, like, this is the group of people who fall for this company is a family. Like, they are all for it. The company is a family. We are all for one.
I
Like,
feel
you're dealing with that group.
so triggered right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like everything about the Canary is for the whole, and like you're starting to get the idea that Sten is the muscle, Talus is the brains of the operation, and so yeah, how you deal with this is the last bit. But yeah, so you're gonna need a better argument than she's trying to manipulate you. It's like I follow orders is what you're getting off this guy. No insight needed. That is very much what Sten is.
Okay.
I will look at Vogt and I'll be like, Vogt, do we do this the quick way or do we do this the loud way? What are you thinking?
If she is at the mirror, then it should be the quick way. Time is not on our side anymore.
I don't know if the quick way and the loud way are any different from each other. And I'll pull out a bag full of explosives and I'm like, I'll just blow them up and we can go forward.
I think stealth has been off the table for some time.
I will pull out one with each hand, frag grenades, and I will unpin them and toss them at his feet. Well, actually, I'll be like, here, catch, because he missed every attack. I assume he's got a little doofiness to him somewhere in there. Maybe he'll try to catch the explosives.
Like, the explosives you have are like more herb or magical in origin. They're usually lyrium bombs. The Kunari have invented black powder, and it's a closely guarded secret of theirs. I think he's going to understand what bombs are and not want to catch these.
Dang.
But you do nonetheless toss him at his feet, and he's not going to move. So it's like, if he moves, you get time. If he doesn't move, he's going to try and weather the explosion.
Okay, that's a DC 15 dex saving throw for both of them.
1 fail, 2 fail.
That is...
Dang it, Stan.
Right.
Roll above a 10.
That was my plan all along.
At least the DM understands my pain.
Okay, so that's going to be 5d6 per grenade, so 10d6. So it's my own fireball.
Wow.
5, 8, 10, 12 for the first one.
12.
And anybody, hopefully nobody's within 20 feet of him. That's all I'm going to say. Whew. All right. 12, 17, 21, 25 on the second one.
25. So I'll
Damn.
say, is it, what kind of damage?
Piercing.
Is it? Piercing. Okay, so I will say this. You two were cut off, so he was standing in front of you, but you can toss grenades behind him to only hit him. You will catch the mirror, though. Well, however that plays out,
Oh, no.
however that plays out.
I didn't realize he was so close to the mirror. That's my bad.
You two charged at the mirror, and then he had to step in the way. But that's just
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
the whole mission's about the mirror. Who was closest? Who was closest to him?
The best version of this mission is you get the mirror out, but destroying the mirror is also a thing. But it is known that when Illuvions get destroyed, they are tunnels to the Fade, and things can happen when they get destroyed. What happens? Good question.
I will let you know, Torin, that I signal to you that we can weather a little bit of damage because I will be able to heal you.
So you're the closest one to this guy?
I'm closest to you.
Oh,
It's you two.
right.
It's either you two take the damage or the mirror takes the damage.
Yeah, I'll 100% just throw it closer because I'm thinking just like,
Okay.
because my goal is to kind of hit the guy in the chest and it drops down to his, like, at his feet more than just throwing behind him.
Nope. So he's dead, no matter what. But roll the dexterity saving throws for yourselves, and hopefully you get out of the way.
So +7. Let's do it. Yeah, 22. Got to beat a 15.
22? That's not a save. So
I rolled a 3. Plus 3 is 6.
So it is 2 grenades. So that's 2 saving throws.
Oh, good point. Second one's only an 11, so I failed the second one.
Okay, 19 plus 3 is 22.
Okay, so let's.
First one was 12.
You said 11.
First one
12?
was
First one was a
12,
12.
like damage
So,
wise,
I'm not dead.
and then the second
Okay.
one was 25 damage.
Yep. So that's. There you go.
rough.
So
Okay.
we're not like in initiative order here. Is there any way that I could have cast Bless on my party once the Varteril fell and we were going to fight the other two people?
Well, no, because these two rushed forward and this happened.
Just checking.
So you can cast it now, but
Nah, they can die. It's fine.
so
They can die, it's fine. Thank you.
the only thing remaining of Sten is the beautiful, clean weapons that he never hit anyone with. Since that horde of... I introduced him killing like 15 Darkspawn, and then he just dies.
He has
But
the
anyways,
anime tree to end, like not anything like
There we
that.
go.
So once Sten falls, do we kind of like all huddle up on Talus?
I would say you two kind of get dusting yourself off from the explosion first, but Kalen and Vought, you can now act immediately against Talus, whatever they're doing on the mirror.
Yeah.
So once both of them are close enough, I will try. I want to cast Mass Healing Word on all of us.
Oh, okay. Pass that around.
Okay.
Roll the heal and let's see what everyone gets.
I'll do it in D&D Beyond. It's 9.
9. So that's 9 health to all of you.
Oh, good, I'm all fixed up.
Boop. I would.
And sorry, Cody. Also, Hendrik, if you want to flavor this in kind of me reaching out deeper than ever.
Yeah. This is your. Real quick, Kalen, give me an Arcana advantage this time.
All right,
This
come on.
is the
Surely,
biggest spell
surely.
to come out of.
Advantage.
I should have cast Bless. Damn.
Okay, one of this is 1, then an 18.
So the word is unite.
Unite. All right. With a loud unite, a flash of light emanating from Jean himself, just like reaches out to each of you, doing a beautiful healing touch. Kalen, having such a direct line with this healing touch, you now understand that this isn't directly fade and it's not demonic. Whatever's inside John is actually a spirit, and spirits can vary but are generally friendlier. They embody friendlier aspects of humanity, like spirits of compassion, spirits of justice. Spirit of vengeance is kind of skirts the line, but nonetheless, if you don't act directly against them, they don't usually want to come after you. So it's like they can, but nonetheless, like spirits vary and can be corrupted into becoming a demon very easily. But whatever is in John is nonetheless a very fanciful touch. And you've heard of cases of people being possessed by spirits before, mages especially. They've done fantastical things with that power afterwards, but nonetheless, Jean's earlier remarks of not wanting anything to do with it is also a reaction many have had as well. So,
Well, glad to hear I remain the most dangerous
finally.
mage in the group.
walk with your head held high, friend.
Anyway, let's just all skirt. I'm sure we're all good to just skirt past that whole incident then. Let's just moving on to Talus here. Let's,
Yep.
normal stuff,
So,
normal stuff.
You two, Kalen and Vought, you charge forward to get to Talus. You see Talus like doing all sorts of different things. Like there's some scrolls opened, and she's like trying to read through them real quick, and is like trying to mess around with this contraption. It seems to be a lot of just guesswork, but she seems informed.
Okay. So like a lot of trial and error to try and activate this mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
I'm gonna try and just run up and just grab her, just grapple her basically, to stop her from doing. I don't want to like openly hurt her because she's probably a good source of information. But I'm just gonna like grab her and try and stop her from doing what she's doing, so that we can try and have a conversation and work together to get this out or get it activated, whatever we're trying to do.
Strength versus dexterity then, or acrobatics versus athletics.
That's only a 14.
She slips out of your grasp, very slippery, and
As she kind of slips away, can I try and tell her, if you'll tell us what you're doing, we might be able to help you complete your mission.
Before that, I'm gonna let Kaylin get the one action, and then that will be the next round of just give Kaylin a chance. You two got bombed, and then you tried to do some stuff. You did the mass healing word, and so Kaylin.
I am going to cast Expeditious Retreat on myself, so I can, which allows
Get
me
the heck outta
to
here.
not to retreat. But it allows me to take when I cast a spell, and then also on consecutive turns as a bonus action to take the dash action, so I can keep pace with her if she tries to run properly.
Okay, so you're gonna make sure to block the tunnel.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Me?
Yeah, because you're the closest one who may be here.
12.
12. Okay, with the ringing of the explosions, the shrieking of the Vartero, your ears are a little shot at this point, but like you can kind of barely pick it up. The sound of combat hasn't actually stopped, which means the mage party is making their way, and they're making their way towards you. Now, on to, Jean, you were saying?
If you tell us what you're doing, we can help you complete your mission.
Something tells me my mission wouldn't align with all of your missions. You're here to study a blight, and yet you charged in here with us into an elven ruin? That doesn't seem to be adding up right now. But, our best chance of surviving after so much noise is to activate this dang mirror, get inside, and just try to get somewhere else. So, either release me, I'm probably your best chance. Maybe your mage can figure this out, maybe not.
Can we take a look at the mirror and see what we see?
Yeah, go for it. It's either investigation or arcana.
I'll try Arcana this time.
Okay.
So 11 on the die plus 5, it's 16.
16. So, you know what Illuvion is? It's looking like what it needs is going to be on a 16 arcana. Your spirit inside you kind of just, you hear a whisper in the back of your mind. And it's not something you really ever love hearing, as I think you informed me. But nonetheless, the whisper, it's almost like your subconscious speaking to your conscious mind, but you know it's a foreign voice. And it just says blood for a second. And it just passes through your mind.
And you all see my reaction when this happens, Vokt's reaction.
Yeah.
So.
And then I say it, but I say it in message. I don't say it out loud.
Okay.
I say to all of all of my companions, blood. We need blood.
Okay. So you now know that blood is the trigger for this mirror, and Talus is still trying to kind of almost battle pose, but like kind of also like understanding that if we don't work together, the mage party is going to catch up to us, and we're all a little weak right now. A little bit weaker. So it's like she got up from that blow and managed to sneak away, but that blow still was a blow.
Yeah.
It wasn't. She's got broken bones. But yeah.
Torin would react to this voice in his head saying, the mirror needs blood, with a reply in the message, any blood? Yeah.
Kaylin, did you give me an Arcana check?
Yeah. What for?
If you guys want investigation or Arcana, that was for all of you, not just the one.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Well, it's a +0 either way for me. So.
Same.
Arcana 17. Oh, wow.
17.
Yeah.
11.
I think I'm going to use a lucky point on that one.
Cody, you sound so defeated.
What was that, James?
I'm going to go ahead and use a lucky point on that one. That's my last luck point.
Okay.
11, that's much nicer. What's my plus to that? 18.
18. Okay. 18. With an 18, you know that it's either there's a 18 and a 17. So with each of you, sorry, I'm going to dismiss the 11, but 18 on a 17, you know that it must be blood from a willing individual. It can't be, so the dead body sadly won't work here. It has to be from a willing living individual. And you, on the 18 with Arcana, you know it's going to take about 30, I'm just going to say it in meta terms, about 35 HP of sacrifice to it. And it can be from multiple sources, but nonetheless.
I think
I can still cast healing magic.
I think Carlin just pulls out a knife and just like looks to Vuk like, you wanna do it, mate? Toss you into the
So
portal first
here's
too.
my question. about the Illuvians. So they're used as like transport, but I guess my concern is, sorry. So you say our only way out is to go through the Illuvian, but what is to say that the mages behind us won't just do the same thing and follow us?
Break it behind us?
I guess that was to Talus.
Uh,
Because the way that
Yeah.
that it seemed to me is like she wants to use this to escape, but what's to stop them from following us still?
It's like, she's like, as soon as we step in, I was planning to blow it up. That usually causes the mirror to explode outwards. But the plan for me, obviously, was to get the mirror and Sten carry it out. Unfortunately, she looks at Sten's dead body, and it's
Just his boots.
Yeah, Sten's empty boots. That's no longer an option, and was also increasingly not an option with how noisy those Venatoris were. So, right now, the secondary option was to get into the Fade or the Crossroads and blow it up. But the only issue with that plan is I don't know what's going to be on the other side of this mirror when we get there. Could be more of mine, could be more Venatori, could be followers of the Dread Wolf. Hopefully not, but for now, my plan was take a random guess on what's across this mirror instead of trying to fight the horde that is probably gathering with all the noise we've made in this tunnel.
Also, is it leading directly into the Fade, or is it leading into a separate place?
The Crossroads is kind of like a realm in between, but more Fade leaning. Like you stumble into the Illuvion, and it leads into a special location of the Fade that was created by the elves, and used to be kind of like an in-between area between the Fade and the world that kind of got severed and destroyed when the Veil was created. So it's a very chaotic place right now, but nonetheless, you can get in. If you find another Illuvion while in there, you can pop out somewhere else. If you can map out this area, find more Illuvions, the better control, the more across Thedas you can get to in minutes instead of, the months of travel it would normally take.
And our original mission from Sir Sutherland was to retrieve this or just to secure it?
Retrieve it or destroy it if you can't. Keep it out of other people's hands, essentially. But going into it wasn't really
for sure.
thing, but now you're dealing with all the noise you've made and the noise of the other party that's fighting up behind you. You have that pressing matter, and you know that if you're going to try and fight out, it's going to be through Darkspawn with all this noise. You closed a lot of doors on the way here, so that might have helped stem the tide, but nonetheless.
Once those mages are going to come here, we don't have enough time.
Can we tell how far away they might be? In minutes?
On a 12, no.
In minutes.
On a 12,
in,
I wish no.
In ritual casting distance, for chance?
Unfortunately not with that 12 that I gave you now. That was basically the best I could give you of the 12 was that they are coming. They are making progress, but
because
the exact distance was hard to make out.
Using some of these corpses around here, I could stick a little glyph to a rig to blow up as they get here. We want to blow it up behind us.
Okay.
I need a bit of time though.
That would still don't allow us to escape. Only through the Illuvian. If we don't escape through the Illuvian, we need to find an exit out of this place, but then we are forfeiting our mission.
I can rig it to blow up as we leave. Leaves us in wherever this thing takes us, but I'm not seeing many other options at this point.
So out of game, your options are activate the Illuvion, go through. That's whatever. Try to go back down your side passages before the mage party gets here. It's gonna be a bit more filled, and you guys are gonna be in the signal file, but maybe there's less Darkspawn because you have closed tunnels. I have taken that into account, and deal with the mage party directly, but you've seen how powerful that fire magic has been, and this guy's just pushing through. So those are your three options.
I mean, it was shoddy spell work. We could take them.
But also that with the noise and everything that Mage Party is also doing, he's bringing with him Darkspawn into this room. And you imagine, based on all that, he's probably just going to activate the Illuvion and walk through it. Like, he's not going to stick around wherever this is. So
I think our options are traversal of the Illuvion.
Yeah, if we
And
stick around,
blowing
we're
it
gonna die.
up after we step through.
I mean, if that's what you guys want to do, I'm not really. I don't care about this Illuvion. I'm mostly just here to get paid. So whatever gets me money. So getting through it and getting us out of here, that seems like a double win to me.
Yeah, mate, this thing ain't worth our lives.
okay.
So, Talus, I believe you need to offer it some blood to activate.
But it's 35. She's like, she looks at herself and just like, you can kind of see broken bones, battered body. It's like, I'm not giving up much. I don't have much left to give. So
All right, Vax, your turn.
You are going to give at least some, aren't you?
I literally don't have much left to give. Like, insight check real quick, like if you want.
8.
Oh, I mean,
A dirty
13.
20.
Oh,
Dirty
that's
20.
much
9.
better.
Okay. 8 13 at face value, you believe her. On dirty 20, even under the skin, you believe her. She is clearly walking on 2 HP in a dream right now. She's not going to get anything up.
I think I still want 1 HP from her.
I will approach her and I will essentially mend her leg. And it's not a spell. It's just it's a very painful process because we have no aesthetic. But it does give her 1d8 plus 2 health as I cast a first level Cure Wounds spell.
Okay. Okay.
I will put in
Very good. There you
15 of the HP.
go. 8 HP for her.
Okay, so she's back up to 10 HP in a dream. Oh.
And she can give 8 to come back to where she was.
I was gonna say, give her
She's like,
give her
why
healing
not?
words, and then just have her sacrifice all.
She just like looks at you and is like, why not you just give the HP yourself and then heal yourself? Like, what? Why is that? Why is the scenario I get healed and then give up what I just got healed with?
Because you are the aggressor in this conversation.
I just walked ahead of you, moving on to my mission. I never attacked you. I
You
just
tried to kill us with
I
Sten.
never tried to kill you. I said Sten put a stop to them. However he did that is up to him. He follows orders, but he's free to choose within those orders. He chose to try to kill you. That's on him.
Someone
And
woke up and
he
chose
suffered
violence.
for it.
So not to interrupt you guys while you are arguing, but how do I apply the blood to the mirror? I just like smear it on there. Is there a receptacle?
Is there like a little funnel on the
Yeah,
side I gotta
what-
bleed
well-
into?
You imagine smearing.
Look,
it
mate,
all
it's
over
not
fine,
rocket
but it's mostly
science.
just-
And Kalen takes out his knife and cuts his arm for 15 HP and holds it up to the mirror.
Yeah, but when you did the same, it kind of just takes the blood out of you, and like you could see it float through the air and be slowly absorbed into the mirror, and like you could see it start to glow with power. So
I
that
also
was
cut my
15 for botch.
hand and show it to the mirror and give 10 HP.
Okay, so that's 10 left.
How much HP was it? I thought it was 35.
It's 35 total. You
Yeah.
did 15. That was 10, so that's 25 out, and now there's 10 HP left.
Wait, how much?
Well,
Wait.
Kellen also did 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kalen, how much did you give?
I can do.
Kayla did do 15.
I could do.
10?
I could
You
do.
wanna do 10?
Yeah, I could do 10 and then yeah.
Okay, so that's it. The mirror is activated and turned on. You see a flash. You'll feel a brief shake and kind of lose your footing for a second as the mirror just shoots up into life. As now it's just kind of a standing sideways pool of water. And you could see like little piece of dust fly across, and it leaves reverberations just like water, but it's standing sideways like a mirror, and you can still see your own reflection. You can almost not understand that this is a portal if not for the dust kind of moving in and out of it.
Before we try to cross it, I will cast the mass healing word because I don't know what would happen to my powers in the fade.
So it's there.
So that's a 7 for each of us, except Talus.
Dang.
Damn.
Talon's got 10 HP in a dream.
Right.
But she, as soon as the portal's up, she's immediately going to dive in. You guys have, you already heard her plan to blow it up behind her. I'm giving you all, you have to make the choice now.
Yeah. I figure Torn's got explosives. But again, before we dive in, I will. I'll do 8 points of lay on hands on myself, and then whatever else Kellen and Jean sacrificed that wasn't covered by the healing word.
I need 3 more.
Okay, so then that was a total of.
I am at a 20 out of 40. But if someone else needs it, I can cast another healing word on myself.
Okay. But
I'll give you 5 more from lay on hands.
Okay.
That leaves me a few more points left for an emergency. But
so, okay, I'll cast healing word on myself, 2nd level. The other mass healing words were 3rd level.
all right. This is the last bit of healing. I'm gonna, yeah, go ahead. Actually, Horn, you get one thing. I'm giving everyone else one thing.
So I was gonna say, instead of you using your 2nd level spell like that, I could have approached you and like as you're going, I can tell that you're concentrating your magic, and I'd been like, no, please let me treat you. Save your magic if we get attacked.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
I'll essentially bandage you up, and I'll help you. Like I have like active wounds still on my stomach from the grenade, but I'm just treating you. So that's a D8 plus 2 for you. Unfortunately, that's only 4 HP, but you know it's something.
Yeah.
and then
right.
Torn, you said you have explosives. Perhaps we should use some for destroying this Illuvian.
At this moment, I have a couple of smoke bombs and some fire grenades. I was saving that for a rainy day.
How we blow it up from the other side?
You already heard Talus's plan, and she jumped in before you, and then you guys.
I'm pretty sure she already has something here to blow us up, and we might just want to follow her.
I jump in.
She's probably got us sorted. Let's go.
Lot jumped in.
I jump in afterward.
Okay.
Likewise.
Jean, I'm gonna give this to you right before you jump in.
Okay.
Opening the door into the room. The 3 of you have jumped in. This is only for Jean. But opening the door into the room, you see the Venatori walk in, and you see the house, this house symbol of Aramond sitting proudly on his chest, knowing for sure that house is one of the houses that did this to you. House Aramond has been working with the Venatori since the beginning, and many experiments have been tried on any victim they could get a hold of, and you were one of them. This mage is the face of one of the mages.
Oh no!
That put you through. But the bombs are activated. You have no choice to step in. Otherwise, you could just stay here and die instantly. Your revenge will be for a different day. As you step in, explosion, and when you come out the other side, the fire kind of follows you in, and you kind of have to duck back. But immediately, the mirror shatters on the other side. All of you get kind of knocked off your feet in the shockwave. As none of you are elves, right?
I'm an elf.
Ah, one elf.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so the 3 of you. No, it's not bad. The 3 of you
Sure.
see this huge landscape where physics is just broken and wrong. You see off in the distance, there's a stairway upside down, people running down it, but they're upside down too, so it's up, I guess. It's hard to really make sense of it, but there's half a building over here that's cut in half, and you could swear that building would match with this one that's miles away over here. You can see all of this just floating up and down. Everything is dead in this area. Trees are mostly sullen and gone, and it's kind of a bleak gray kind of a colorscape all over everywhere, and it's a very depressing place, honestly. But that's you can see Talus. She's kind of killed over and standing, just barely standing up. Kaylin, on the other hand, as an elf, you see like cherry blossom trees on what they would see as dead trees. The place is beautiful. The landscape is perfect. Honestly, these buildings are still destroyed, but it's like you can see the beauty they once held centuries past, and they've been kind of like cased in a time bubble that just resistant to all damage aside from the obvious cut in half and split. Truly, there's a second of where it's like you feel at home here, just like in the back of your mind, like an ancestral thought just leading throughout the ages, reaching out saying this is for you. But that's the difference of what you'll see here. Yeah. But also, you guys will notice around you is a group of elves, bows drawn, all of you clearly outnumbered, trained on you. Talus also, hands up. And you see one step forward wearing the symbol of the Dreadwolves. And it was like, well, this is interesting. And I'm going to cut it there for the day.
On a cliffhanger?
That's the ending you got. That's the ending you guys got. Was the cliffhanger ending, which that was very purposely written.
Yeah.
Do you jump into the Illuvion cliffhanger?
We can't have end on a cliffhanger. I cast Fireball. Center ourselves.
Counterspell.
The 3 with Mage Slayer instantly lock arrows and loose. There is an instant counter spell, actually. You try to do that, and an instant counter spell comes out and shuts you down.
Ah, no.
It's like, can't be having that.
Damn it, I can't suicide bomb the...
I think that if people want to see the continuation of this, they need to let us know in the comments and the likes and all that.
That's true.
Oh, man, the one shot that becomes a campaign.
Starting a campaign level 5? Yes!
Yes!
Oh man, yeah. This was the one cliffhanger ending of the multiple endings I had for this. But yeah, thanks for tuning in for the Dragon Age one shot, everybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a little bit nerve wracking for me, but yeah, thanks for putting up with me.
Well, you did great.
Alrighty.
This was so good. I love this.
This was a lot of fun. Yeah.
It's awesome.